Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Thanks for joining us for today's live stream as we reveal our upcoming expansion, The Forbidden Sanctum, which launches on December 9th on PC and Mac and on December 14th on console. Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Bloodguard wings. Here's what you can expect from today's live stream. We'll start by debuting the trailer for the Forbidden Sanctum, and we'll then do a deep dive on the league itself. We'll cover this expansion's new endgame revamps and content, and then we'll have a look at all the new skills we're introducing. We'll then reveal some new unique items and the massive buffs and rarity adjustments we have made to a variety of endgame unique weapons.
They mentioned this, yeah.
We'll then briefly cover some balance topics that we have posted articles about recently. Jewels, curses, and the replacement of the arch-nemesis monster mod system.
What does that sound?
Finally, we'll discuss the upcoming release of the optional Ruthless game mode before touching on some quality of life improvements and the new supporter packs.
Cool.
The livestream concludes with a Q&A session between Ziggy D and me, where we'll answer questions from Twitch chat. Then we'll drop the full patch notes. Let's get started with the trailer for the Forbidden Sanctum, which launches in 1 week.
I'm so happy for the music. Oh, I'm so excited.
Many have met their fate here in the shade of Fell Shrine.
With Fell Shrine?
So, step lightly. For here you are bound by new rules. My rules.
Shrine rework?
Each step with gold to tempt you. A foe to wound you. A curse to spite you.
That was auto pickup.
But do not give up.
It is Shrine rework.
For vast riches await the bold. Pillage this sanctum if you must. And one day you may uncover its secrets.
Okay, it is similar to what I thought with the runes. Maybe? Oh, that looks like an abyss. 2 new guards. Oh. The Shaper sword. Nice. Oh, hello. It is part of exile.com/sanctum. I knew it. I mean, I had to be. Interesting. The leak man, I have to rewatch it for the leak trail. I was so focused on the text, I couldn't really hear the music. It feels like it might be a very long song again. Keep in mind, Lake of Kalandra theme was 5 minutes long.
The Forbidden Sanctum is an old Templar enclave, long rumored to be hidden beneath the Fell Shrine ruins. Abandoned for a long time, it is now controlled by a malevolent entity. In this league, you'll explore it, find out its secrets, and deal with the evil that lurks there. The Sanctum Challenge League is a roguelike game, played out 1 room at a time as you explore Rayclast and the Atlas in Path of Exile. In every area or map you enter, you can make a choice of which room in the Sanctum you will explore next. On the Sanctum map, you can see the contents of a few rooms ahead, enabling you to plot a path through its dangerous halls. And the Sanctum is dangerous. Like most roguelikes, you should not expect to be able to complete it on your first try. Getting to the deeper floors requires experience, knowledge, and luck. You should expect that your early attempts will fail, but over time, you'll be able to push yourself farther and farther. As you progress deeper into the Sanctum, you'll find a variety of treasures that will help you eventually fight your way to the dangers that await you at the end of its 4 floors. Eventually, by endgame, you may be able to push through all 4 floors to face the final boss. Every roguelike needs a resource to help you track how well the run is going. In the Forbidden Sanctum, it is your resolve, indicated by this bar here. As you explore the Sanctum, your resolve is threatened by the dangers within. When you lose all of your resolve, your Sanctum run ends.
Oh, but you
Your
don't
level of
die.
resolve is maintained between consecutive rooms on your run, but is only shown when you're in the Sanctum itself.
Okay, that's
the
good.
resolve mechanic applies equally to all build archetypes. Your resolve is reduced when you are hit by monsters or environmental hazards in the Sanctum, and these telegraphed attacks are not affected by regular Path of Exile defensive mechanics, such as evasion, armor, or block. While these attacks do some nominal damage to your regular life, the bulk of their impact is against your resolve. This mechanic provides a mechanism for tracking your progress between rooms, where your regular life pool would long ago have been recovered. Another aspect of the resolve system is that characters who are struggling can be ejected from the Sanctum without actually having to die, avoiding experience loss or hardcore death.
Very good, yes.
So maintaining a healthy level of resolve is key as you navigate the Sanctum, and that means making careful choices of what rooms you enter. Let's have a look at some of the things that Sanctum rooms can contain. Afflicted rooms cause you to gain an affliction when you enter them. Afflictions make your Sanctum run more difficult, for example, reducing your resolve recovery, causing rewards to become hidden on the Sanctum map,
It's not too
or
bad.
causing Sanctum rooms to spawn volatile anomalies that follow you.
That's really
These
bad.
minor afflictions accumulate as you get deeper and deeper into a run, making it more challenging.
They accumulate, oh god.
Major afflictions exist and are a big deal. They have significant consequences, such as entirely preventing the recovery of resolve.
Oh, that's bad.
So, a Sanctum run gets harder and harder as you pick up more afflictions. Sounds great. But every roguelike needs a way for you to gain power throughout your run. In the Forbidden Sanctum, that system is boons. Boons are beneficial buffs that help you as you progress through the Sanctum.
Of course, like a
Minor
roguelike.
boons make things a little easier, such as slowing down monsters or adding a special shield to your resolve called Inspiration.
Oh, that's cool.
Major boons don't come along often, but have large effects, such as preventing you from receiving more minor afflictions, or recovering your resolve to 50% the next time you run out.
Very good.
Due to the vast variety of afflictions and boons, no two runs are the same. Generally speaking, your best Sanctum runs are the ones where the afflictions you choose have little effect on you, and the boons either counteract them or have a large benefit for the strategy you're running. Some rooms in the Sanctum contain a fountain which will restore some of your lost resolve. Others contain afflicted fountains that restore even more resolve at a cost.
What cost?
Rooms with a treasure reward contain chests full of the Templar Aureus currency, a type of gold coin they used for commerce within their Sanctum. You'll also find some Aureus coins from monsters that you kill as you explore. These are picked up automatically, like Azurite, and are not tradable, and like your afflictions and boons, are lost when your Sanctum run ends.
Very good.
Some rooms contain a merchant who accepts your Aureus coins in exchange for boons. Plan your purchases carefully, as you may encounter the merchant again later on with even more expensive boons to purchase. Occasionally, the sinister powers controlling the Sanctum will present you with the choice of making an accursed pact. You are given several pacts to choose from, and can even opt to take all that you are offered. All pacts have a big upside and a big downside, such as exchanging a portion of your maximum resolve for a random major boon. It's very dangerous to make a pact, but if you pick the right circumstances, your gamble could pay off. In addition to rewards that help you progress through the Sanctum, many rooms let you immediately receive Path of Exile currency items, but with a twist. Whenever you're offered some currency items that you can receive right away, you are also offered a more valuable option that will be waiting for you after the boss fight at the end of the current floor of the Sanctum.
Very good.
It's a gamble,
yes.
because if you fail your run before you reach and defeat the boss, you will not receive the reward you picked.
Risk reward.
Later on, you're offered the extreme temptation of getting a massive currency reward that is conditional on completing your entire Sanctum run without failing. At a specific point in the Forbidden Sanctum storyline, you'll discover a special altar that Templar relics can be placed on. These relics directly affect your Sanctum runs and are not lost when a run ends. They persist throughout the League as a permanent source of meta progression.
Yes.
Acquiring new and better relics is one of the ways you can push farther and farther with each run you try.
Oh, it's a little bit like runes.
Relics
from
cannot be
V2.
crafted and cannot be traded, as they represent your personal progression throughout the League.
But you're gonna...
You'll accumulate more than you can use simultaneously, so you'll have options to fine-tune your strategy from run to run. You can store your extra relics in the Relic Locker, a free storage space like the Expedition Locker.
Very good.
We don't want to spoil important story details, but the end boss of the Forbidden Sanctum can drop unique items from a pool exclusive to this league.
Nice.
Today we'd like to show you a unique amulet called Eternal Damnation. This amulet offers a powerful way to gain additional elemental mitigation by introducing the concept of elemental damage reduction. Despite the drawback of reducing your maximum resistances, if you have sufficient chaos resistance, this is more than compensated for. Because of the roguelike nature of the Forbidden Sanctum, Defeating the boss of a floor is a difficult achievement and hence rewards a lot of experience. You may fail on the way, so if you do manage it, expect a good experience boost for your achievement.
So that is one of the bosses, I guess.
Another reward you can find is a special type of relic called a Sanctified Relic that has mods that directly affect your character's build. You can only unlock one slot for this type of relic,
Account
and while
build?
these relics can't be crafted through conventional means, you may find special reward rooms in the Sanctum that can modify them. These relics exist for this league only and provide a boost to character power for players who are able to master the Sanctum. The Sanctum League offers a roguelike experience that tempts you into taking risks and rewards you if those pay off. There's a lot to explore in the Sanctum, and we can't wait to hear about your experiences next week.
How do you equip this? Can you equip it with something else?
Up to Path of Exile 2's release, we're improving Path of Exile's endgame.
Okay, that's
with
really
new
fun.
content to
I
explore
love
and
this. I
improvements
love
to how you
long-term
customize
progression.
your endgame experience.
And
In the
gaining power.
Forbidden Sanctum expansion, we're revamping the Atlas tree, reworking how Eldritch Altars function, and are introducing 2 new Atlas memories. The
More
Atlas tree
memories.
is generally working really well, but has a few problems we'd like to address.
Okay.
The tree offers you the ability to specialize in killing pinnacle bosses, providing extra rewards when you do so. While this sounds good on paper, it creates a situation where you're incentivized to specialize your tree for regular mapping, save up all of your boss fights, then respec fully into boss mode, and then do all of your saved up boss fights before speccing back again. Ideally, the design of the Atlas tree would let you spec into one build and then just play the game. We have removed all boss bonuses from the Atlas tree, and have baked some of them into the actual base properties of the boss fights. For example, you don't need to allocate the Gaze into the Abyss notable that makes the Elder more likely to drop a Watcher's Eye, as he just has that drop chance built in now.
Good.
The Atlas tree is now focused on allowing you to specialize into content that you encounter in every map. We also want you to be able to specialize into your favorite leagues even more deeply on the Atlas tree. For each of the 10 leagues that the tree lets you disable, we've added a bunch more passives to the tree. These new passives allow you to increase the league's spawn chance to much higher levels than currently possible, and juice the league even further than before.
Good.
We are making a number of changes to Eldritch Altars that mostly affect their rewards, but will also affect gameplay decisions you make involving them. Some of the key changes include splitting up the basic currency, Scarab, and Divination card rewards to be explicit in their description of what rewards you'll get. For example, instead of map bosses dropping 3 unknown basic currency items, the altar specifically says which currency item they'll drop. As part of this change, we've removed some of the lower value yet quite common currency rewards from the pool, such as Orbs of Augmentation and Orbs of Transmutation. Speaking of Scarabs, these will be less available from altars, but we've improved their availability elsewhere to offset this. Rusted Scarabs can now drop from the core drop pool, and we've added a vendor recipe that allows you to upgrade your Scarabs up to Gilded, using the normal 3-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
You can also perform this action from your Fragment tab using the new Upgrade button. We have made reward types exclusive to different influences, so that you know which influence type to invest in if you want to target farm a certain reward. To give you a specific example, if you run maps influenced by, say, Eater of Worlds, you'll see Divine Orbs from the basic currency reward more than twice as often as before. We've also rebalanced rewards so that choices that affect boss drops or influence monster drops are comparatively more valuable. The Wrath of the Cosmos Keystone has been reworked. Previously, it was so rewarding that players felt obligated to use it despite its extreme level of difficulty. It has retained the risk versus reward element, but with the overall intensity toned down. You can now also get Awakened Gems from defeating Maven Witness map bosses. This additional reward helps further balance the expected returns from the various types of influence.
Dual Strike.
For more detail on these changes, check out the Balance Manifesto we posted last week, or the upcoming patch notes.
I like it.
In the Lake of Calandra expansion, we introduced Atlas Memories. When applied to your Atlas, they unlock a sequence of maps that tells the story of an NPC's past. These stories manifest as specialized encounters that involve a new challenge and exciting rewards. In this expansion, we've introduced 2 new Atlas Memories, describing events related to Beastry and Domination. The Beastry memory line allows you to capture harvest monsters as beasts for your menagerie. These harvest beasts can be used in 9 new beast crafting recipes. These recipes cover an array of options. For example, you can remove one of the special modifiers from a Watcher's Eye Jewel and then add another. This can have potent results, but won't affect the life, mana, or energy shield modifiers.
What the fuck?
You can re-roll an Awakened Gem from one type to another.
Holy
Another
shit.
example is that you can also re-roll a Synthesis Implicit modifier. If your item has more than one Synthesis Implicit, it will randomly re-roll one of them.
Just reroll,
The
dude.
Domination Atlas memory thrusts you into a tale of pantheon gods that stand watch over their shrines. Like regular shrines, these are guarded by monsters and emit a buff that empowers the monsters until you claim that buff for yourself. This Atlas memory introduces a new set of shrines with specialized buffs, guarded by rare monsters that drop tantalizing rewards.
Huh.
The Forbidden Sanctum expansion introduces a new
That looks
type of
fun.
shard that can drop from Harbingers, Fracturing Shards. When combined together into a full currency item, you get the Fracturing Orb, which behaves the same as the Fracturing Craft from Harvest. It can be used on any rare item with at least 4 modifiers. When the orb is applied, it locks one of the modifiers in place so that further crafting efforts do not affect that modifier. Items fractured in this way can only have one fractured modifier. Previously, this crafting option
What?
was gated behind the Oshabi fight in Harvest. Now that it has been rehomed
Spoiler.
to Harbinger, the Harvest crafting option is no longer available. This means that you'll be able to use your Harvest Life Force and Oshabi kills on other crafts.
Harbinger back on
Because
the menu,
fracturing
boys.
shards drop from Harbingers, you'll be able to target farm them by speccing into Harbinger content on your Atlas tree.
Okay.
The Forbidden
that's a
Sanctum
surprise.
expansion introduces a number of new skill gems.
Okay.
In addition to some new melee Val skills we'll discuss later in the livestream, there are 2 totally new skills that we'd like to unveil today. Volcanic Fissure is a new fiery slam skill that can be used with staves, maces, axes, and unarmed attacks. Strike the ground to create a chasm that winds towards your target. This chasm can path around corners before erupting as the fissure gets as close as it can reach. It releases a burst of fiery projectiles that explode on striking the ground.
Wait.
Enemies hit by multiple impacts will take a lot of stacked damage. Use it up close for reliable bursts of damage, or aim far away to damage a larger area. Frozen Legion is an unusual spell, summoning a ring of icy statues that attack with your own weapon damage.
What?
The skill has multiple cooldown stacks and consumes all cooldown uses at once to summon a statue for each available cooldown. The statues perform a sweeping ice slash, and these sweeps can overlap, resulting in multiple hits against targets close to you. The spell can be used with staves, maces, and axes. The skill is particularly powerful with slow, heavy weapons, as while the statues will use your attack speed, you should instead prioritize the spell's own cast time and cooldown.
That's a
This
really
expansion
complex
also
skill.
introduces many new Val melee skills.
That looks sick.
As you know, equipping a Val skill gem grants you
What?
both the Val and regular version of the skill.
What?
As you kill enemies, the gem charges up with their souls, and after a certain number are collected, the Val skill can be used once. Most of the new Val skills introduced in this expansion are melee skills, and this results in an indirect buff to any melee builds that use one of these skills. Where previously you'd just be using your melee skill to kill enemies, you now get to periodically
looks so
use
sick.
the superpowered version of
That's
the skill.
cleave, correct?
If you like Flicker Strike, you'll love Val Flicker Strike, as it really dials up the concept of letting fate take the wheel.
Oh god.
Val Flicker Strike causes you to flicker dozens of extra times, slashing enemies. During this time, you don't deal any damage to the enemies you slash.
What?
You're quite vulnerable due to not leeching or generating fortify stacks. When you finish flickering, if you survived of course, you'll be rewarded with a single huge hit of
Fortify
damage against
frenzy.
the enemy you slash.
Frenzy charges. 45 stacks?
Val Cleave is a new Val skill that buffs
Oh,
the
maybe more.
behavior of its non-Val version, in a similar way to how Val Reeve works. Val Cleave triggers 2 buffs, one when you kill a rare enemy, and one when you kill either a rare or unique enemy. The latter is a strong buff to regular Cleave, which you can keep up almost permanently if you're able to kill rare or unique enemies often enough.
Damn.
The bonus for killing a rare enemy is that you get to steal its mods for a time. You can enjoy part of the power of having a headhunter without actually needing to find one. Overall, Val Cleave is a pretty powerful upgrade to any melee build that could run Cleave.
Yep.
That +2 radius buff is looking pretty good now, right? We'll showcase the other new Val skills we're introducing over the coming week. The Forbidden Sanctum
+2.
expansion introduces over 15 new unique items, from Sanctum exclusive uniques to ones that can be found from Path of Exile's pinnacle bosses. I'd like to show you 3 examples of these, designed by winners of our prior league's boss kill races.
That's what I thought. They have to bring out the
Progenitus
unique
is a
now.
unique amethyst flask that was designed by Ben and drops from the Uber Maven. It's a
Oh, from
defensive
Ben.
flask that grants a mini version of the Petrified Blood effect, but without requiring you to be on low life. This is a useful tool to prevent you getting one-shot by large amounts of incoming damage in scary situations. Rational Doctrine is a unique jewel that was designed by Rawlings and drops from Uber Venarius. By manipulating your attributes, you can change how this jewel behaves. While the ideal dream outcome is that you manage to get your strength and intelligence tied for highest, enabling both of the benefits simultaneously, the jewel is still very powerful if it only grants your choice of permanent consecrated ground or permanent profane ground. Entropic Devastation is a pair of unique gloves that were designed by Gucci Pradas and dropped from the Uber Shaper. Currently, the ways to get Spell Impale are very limited. These gloves provide the powerful property of causing all of your spells to impale on crit. So let's talk about unique weapons, specifically endgame unique weapons.
Spells that
in many ways, the weapon
impale
is the
on
most
crit.
iconic and important item on a character, so it's very important that we make them exciting and worthy of their unique status. While some unique weapons have special properties that enable entirely new builds, others are best compared to powerful rare items as a primary source of your character's damage. We have to be very careful when pitching the power level of these unique weapons. If they're not powerful enough, then they're useless and are ignored, but if they're too powerful, then they discourage entire archetypes of characters from trying to find or craft rare weapons. Interestingly, the above problem doesn't apply to belts. Despite Mageblood and Headhunter both existing as extremely powerful unique items, people still craft plenty of rare belts. That's because Mageblood and Headhunter are extremely rare, and people don't actually expect they'll reliably get one in a league.
Nope.
Players tend to treat them as luxury upgrades to their build, rather than something they're certain to get.
I don't even get
In this
Headhunter
expansion,
anymore.
we're promoting 10 iconic but underused unique weapons
Ooh,
to the
Soul Taker.
same tier of rarity as Mageblood and Headhunter. We are buffing them a gigantic amount and are making them incredibly hard to find. Remember when Starforge used to be an exciting item? Well, after this change, it certainly is again. It still drops exclusively from the Shaper and the Uber Shaper, but it'll take a lot of runs or a lot of luck to earn it. Over the next week, we'll reveal the other unique weapons that have been massively buffed. We have targeted around 10 iconic underused unique weapons and have generally buffed only their damage stat, but by a lot.
That's fine.
We've made a number of changes to jewels that are covered in a recent balance manifesto, but in case you missed it, we want to quickly summarize what the changes are. In the Forbidden Sanctum expansion, we have made jewels a better source of ailment mitigation by buffing the values of ailment-focused jewel modifiers and adding new modifiers that enable mitigation to a wider variety of ailments than before. We have also removed some ailment mitigation modifiers that were only available on jewels through corruption because there are now better options through the regular jewel mod pool.
Please
This
mention
also
mana
means that
reservation.
other desirable corruption modifiers, like immunity to corrupting blood,
Please.
are more likely to roll. We want the moment of finding a unique jewel to be way more exciting than it currently is. We've added a handful of new, very powerful unique jewels and have removed some old, less interesting ones.
What?
An example of one of these new unique jewels is Fire Song, which propagates any modifiers to your ignite mitigation to other elemental ailments.
Oh my god,
If you're able to
a new
substantially
Welter
reduce the
report.
duration of ignites on you, then you can use Fire Song to basically shrug off any elemental ailment. For full information about the other changes to unique jewels, check out the Balance Manifesto post we made recently. We've rebalanced curses to make them stronger where they matter most against unique monsters and pinnacle bosses. We have buffed several Hex-related unique items and reworked unique items that previously interacted with Doom.
Did I have
To
to read
replace the
this
Doomsday
slowly?
Keystone passive, we have brought back
Dear
a
Lord.
version of an iconic curse-related keystone from the past. We've introduced some powerful new unique items that interact with hexes, which we'll reveal in the lead up to launch. For more details on changes to curses, check out the Balance Manifesto we posted recently, or the patch notes that will come out after the livestream concludes.
Let's go!
When we first created the Arch-Nemesis monster mod system, our goal was to improve Path of Exile's outdated set of monster mods with new and interesting mechanics that have modern game balance.
No, that's the spicy
We feel
one.
that Arch-Nemesis did introduce a lot of interesting mechanics, but it unfortunately had several of its own problems. We have replaced Arch-Nemesis with a system that is more similar to the way monster mods worked in the past. The new monster mods are a lot simpler. They now each do one thing and very clearly state what they do. Each encounter with a rare monster is now less complex and is easier to understand in the heat of combat compared to Arch-Nemesis. You'll still encounter challenging combinations of mods from time to time, but this emergent synergy will be rarer than it was under Arch-Nemesis. The goal is that combat is interesting and varied, with moments that get your heart racing, but without the frustrations of the Arch-Nemesis system. Let's talk about rewards. Under Arch-Nemesis, it often felt mandatory to bring in a magic find culling character to kill some monsters for you in order to maximize your rewards. In the new system, we've added a significant pool of new rewards to rares, but the reward that is on the monster is hidden and not associated with a specific mod, so you don't know what kind of rewards you will get until you kill the monster. Rare monsters with more mods are more likely to have these special hidden reward bonuses. To find out more about other balance changes that are taking place in the Forbidden Sanctum, check out the patch notes which will be available when the livestream ends.
It's good.
Over the last year or so, some of our
Just
senior
hide it.
developers have been tinkering with a more challenging way to play Path of Exile. We've been publicly alpha
Ruthless!
testing this mode, known as Ruthless, for the last month, and are planning to make it available to anyone who's interested alongside the launch of the Forbidden Sanctum next week. Ruthless is an optional additional character flag like Hardcore or Solo Self-Found that completely changes how Path of Exile feels to play. Ruthless is a lot more difficult than regular Path of Exile, but it doesn't achieve this by making the monsters harder to kill. It instead focuses on reducing character power through extreme item scarcity, limited crafting, and many other changes such as support gems being drop only. We've posted an article about the philosophy and rules of Ruthless on pathofexile.com/ruthless. We plan to release this mode alongside the Forbidden Sanctum expansion in a week. In addition to being a character flag like Hardcore or Solo Self-Found, it's also available as a modifier for private leagues. To be clear, the Forbidden Sanctum League content can be played in Ruthless with appropriately balanced rewards. Ruthless is still very experimental during 320, and we won't be afraid to make mid-league balance changes to it during this experimental phase. Ruthless is not for everyone, but so far it has found a supportive and growing group of players who enjoy the additional challenge that it brings. If it sounds like something you're interested in, then try it out next time you're looking for a new way to enjoy Path of Exile. This expansion also contains a number of small quality of life improvements.
Oh, true.
Some examples are Divine Vessels can now be used by right-clicking them rather than taking them to Sin.
Thank you.
On the player overhead life bar, the energy shield bar is split into a separate bar.
Oh!
You can now right-click an itemized Temple of Atsuatl to see its layout.
Yes.
And most importantly, beast crafting recipes that add mods to flasks now actually say what the mods do.
Yes.
We'll post more information about these and other quality of life improvements in the lead up to release. Today we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Forge and Gemling packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value and points, plus several exclusive microtransactions. These packs will only be available for the duration of the Sanctum Challenge League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. As always, these microtransactions are entirely cosmetic and do not affect your character's progression or power. The Forge series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Jesus.
The Clockwork back attachment ramps up as you build a kill streak, building pressure and releasing it when your streak ends.
Nice.
The Delirious hideout decoration lets you summon delirium fog in your hideout at will, complete with strange voices and terrifying apparitions.
Nice. Perfect.
Okay. You're looking a little pale.
Oh no, he's gonna talk to you 24/7. Oh my lord, what the heck?
The Forge Guard armor set summons a hammer and anvil so that everyone nearby can watch you craft.
No! Oh, no.
The Ethereal Fusing effect turns your item linking attempts into a spectator sport. If you manage to hit a 6 link, people watching are even prompted to send a congratulatory message.
Oh, wow, really?
Summoning the Crow Storm portal effect causes a murder of crows to erupt from the portal. The portal becomes dormant if you are too far away from it, causing the crows to take to the skies. The High Templar weapon effect smites the undead you fight and scours the souls of those you put to rest.
That's a pretty cool effect.
The Gemling Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Parenthesis!
The Beehive weapon effect lets your weapon play host to a swarm of angry bees, which erupt from the hive whenever you hit an enemy with a weapon. Critical hits cause the hive to send out its best warriors. The Stampede Quicksilver Flask makes you the leader of your own personal rower herd.
Jeez.
Activating the flask causes a host of ghostly rowers to charge alongside you.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
This is the Gemling Artificer armor set. It is inlaid with gems that match the gems you've socketed in your items.
Oh god, that's sick.
Crafting gems with gem cutters prisms, Val orbs, or regrading lenses visualizes the process for all to see. This armor set also includes alternate gem level up effects.
Ooh.
Prospero's ring blesses you with a constant shower of coins, and it helps you thank players you've traded with through a hearty fist bump.
Nice!
The
Heck
consuming
yeah!
ooze pet bounces alongside you and devours corpses in your wake, spitting out a tidy pile of bones.
Holy crap, that slime looks good!
Finally, this pack allows you to reunite with Kadiro Perandus,
Hell yeah!
inviting him to your hideout as a vendor.
He back!
In addition to buying items from you and using his connections to accept your divination cards, he'll provide commentary on your goods, equipment, and anything else he sees fit to judge you for.
Nice.
That might be a little too much to drink, even for me.
Kadiro has hundreds of lines of voice acting.
What? Oh, a mighty headhunter. I'm so impressed. Try to duck when the brain fragments splatter everywhere. You wouldn't want to sully your armor.
These new packs are available right now at
That's really good.
pathofexile.com/purchase. Purchases like these directly fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile 1 and 2, and we really appreciate your support. Meanwhile, the Knight and Rogue packs leave the store forever in 1 week, so now's your last chance to purchase them. The Calandra edition of Kirik's Vault Pass is only available until the end of the Calandra League, and will be replaced with a new set of unique items when the Forbidden Sanctum launches. By the way, we're hoping to film Season 11 of Build of the Week once the Forbidden Sanctum comes out. If you want to submit your build for the season, share your build guide on the class forums on pathofexile.com. Next up, we've got the Q&A with Ziggy D. Once
Nice.
that ends, we'll post the full patch notes for the Forbidden Sanctum. Over the next week, our community team will post the expansion's challenge rewards, information on how to update your item filters, all new and changed gems, and information on how to prepare for launch. On launch weekend, we expect to release the new mystery box, and we'll follow up with the new Kirik's Vault Pass in the days after launch. Thanks for joining us and checking out the Forbidden Sanctum. We can't wait to join you in Rayclast on December 9th. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready in chat.
Cool. So far, everything looks good. The league is long-term progression, which I really appreciate. A variety of changes to a lot of stuff. And actually, I really enjoyed that supporter pack. I really enjoyed it. I have to look over it, calmly look over it if it's worth the money. What the 30, 60, and 90 bucks is. I might think about it in week 1 or 2. We'll see. But overall, I am very, as always, it's a Path of Exile league, so of course I'm excited for it. Hell yeah, of course. God, we have to wait 1 more week. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Good morning, Exiles, and welcome back for another Q&A session with none other than Chris Wilson. Good morning, Chris. Thank you for joining us once again.
Oh, thanks for being here as well.
I'm very keen to jump into chatting about Forbidden Sanctum straight away, but as always, you folks can put your questions in the chat, and our helpful team of moderators will pull some out for us to answer. So, Path of Exile gets to be so many things. It has gotten to be so many things over the years. Do you ever really feel like you just don't need to make another game in any other genre because you can just make a league that is that genre? Like make a farming league or a city building league or a roguelike league?
I guess it's one perk of the job, but we always try to make sure that when we're designing our leagues, they're games that fit within the idea of being an action RPG. Like they have to involve you killing monsters and finding items in order to fit within Path of Exile.
Yeah, so even when you're farming, you're killing monsters, or even when you're fishing, you're killing monsters. I look forward to the one where we pull
Bit of
monsters
an
out of
agenda
the
there,
water. I was planning on pushing the fishing angle.
So that's when you get on the boat and have your fishing league, right?
Yeah.
And you pull monsters out of the water, right? Like giant fish that you then battle with as they flop around on the deck. That makes
Interesting.
sense.
That one's under NDA. Sorry.
Oh, I'm in trouble. How do you gain access to the new Forbidden Sanctum?
So basically, every area you're playing in has a portal that gives you access to it. It basically takes you to the next room that you're playing in the Sanctum in your current run.
Ah, okay. So to clarify then, the Sanctum's divided into rooms, each with their own encounter, and then floors with a boss at the end of each. And then there's the whole Sanctum itself, which is multiple floors?
That's right. So the Sanctum itself has 4 floors, each one guarded by a boss at the end, with the ultimate boss fight at the end of the 4th floor. And each of the floors has 8 rooms, and so a maximum length Sanctum run would be 32 consecutive rooms, which you'd play out over potentially 32 maps.
Yeah.
But it's worth emphasizing that, as with most roguelikes, you don't just install it and then happily play through to the end in one go. It's something that you get further and further with each run as you get better meta progression, as you learn more about it, and as you have good versus bad runs.
I presume it level scales to the character kind of as you're leveling still, as per regular leagues. Is there any potential, do you think, that someone who's quite good at the game maybe gets through on their first try, or is this quite definitely you're going to have to make it a bit further each time?
We never underestimate the players, right? We will try as hard as we can to achieve something, and then players will just blow right past that because there are millions of them and they're pretty damn good at the game. So I don't want to make any promises there, but It certainly is the case that in order to get really deep into the Sanctum, you have to know a lot about it. You have to have some experience with it. You have to ideally have a good character with a capable build. You'd ideally have a good setup of your relics, which are the meta progression.
Windows?
To get to the deeper floors, it certainly requires that you've assembled relics that fit with your strategy. And it also helps to be having a good run. I can't emphasize that enough. It's very roguelike, where you're picking up these random boons, these random afflictions. And if you get the bad afflictions on you early on, that run is not going to last long. If you get a really good set of boons, you could have a really deep run, much further than you otherwise would at your current level.
Yeah, of course.
So you mentioned like 30 something rooms. That's like
if you get
the
a
biggest
negative
thing we've had
boon
by a
and
pretty
it's like
substantial margin. 'Cause
minus
even building
50
the
resolve
temple
or some
was
shit.
around 11 maps to build a full temple and then run that. And that was like, that's a pretty sizable thing. So this is a lot bigger than that then.
That's correct, but a lot of the rewards you're getting along the way, and so it's entirely fine to play the Sanctum a few floors in and then fail and play again, and it's still a rewarding experience, assuming you don't gamble on pushing the rewards right to the end of the entire Sanctum run, but it's unlikely you're going to choose to do that until you are really confident in your ability to do this run particularly well.
Yeah, so I saw the reward options are like, take a tiny reward now, take a decent reward at the end.
Whoops.
If you're like, oh, I can make it 3 or 4 rooms.
Sorry.
And then there's the really big one at the end as well. And there's stack right if you get a bunch of them.
That's right, and it was kind of funny because in the live stream I said this is a massive reward, and we're showing like a few Chaos Orbs as the reward. So of course, chat memed that as much as they could. The thing is, okay, so let's do some math here, right? It's 32 rooms in a Sanctum run, and deferrals make up something like 40%. Deferral is what I'm internally calling the offer reward here. It makes up around 40% of the rooms. And so if you're offered an average of a whole bunch of Chaos Orbs, I think the example there had like 18, but obviously the currency numbers will vary a lot, and you were to defer those entirely to the end of the Sanctum run, you would be getting hundreds of currency. And it can have divines, mirrors, and various other stuff in there moderately rarely. So it's entirely possible that were you to defer everything to the end in a big gamble, you could receive a very, very large payout.
Yeah.
Now, of course, deferring it to the end of the Sanctum is a crazy strategy. We don't recommend that. It will end in tears. Only do this if you're confident in this run. It's set up so that the rewards for immediately taking them are still worthwhile. If you play the Sanctum and just took the reward immediately, it's a decent amount of currency that makes it worthwhile on top of the other rewards you're getting. But there's always the temptation of the end of the floor. The floor one is the one that's juiced a little bit. Of course, in later floors, the end of the Sanctum doesn't look very far away. And if you know you're having a good run, you've got confidence, then why not take the extra reward by doing the big gamble?
This deferral mechanic is super interesting, actually, because you've designed leagues where you get like some reward immediately, and then you've designed leagues where you do like a lot of content and then get a ton of rewards all at once. So this allows players to have control over that mechanic and make that decision for themselves. Have you like kind of... Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, this is because roguelikes have good runs and bad runs. If you're having a bad run, take the rewards now and get as far as you can. If you're having a great run, that gives you the ability to make an ultimatum-like gamble.
Yeah, right. You can make those strategic decisions kind of based on like, this has been a brutal slog. I am no way am I getting through this. I'm going to check out now. Got it. Makes sense. Have you thought about like the player mindset?
Interesting. I wonder how big the rooms will
take the big
be.
one, because I look at it and I'm like, I'm always going to take the one, and I'm the biggest one. I'm never going to get it because I'm always going to die.
Obviously, players want to min-max stuff. They want to get the best result, but the best result may pragmatically say, I'm going to take this reward that's in a shorter time frame. Plus, okay,
also
so anyone who's done
ritual.
economics or finance understands the concept of the time value of money. $1 now is worth more than $1 later because you can put it to use right now. And when these full Sanctum runs taking 30 maps, maybe getting a pile of Chaoses, potentially some higher currency like Exalts and Divines, a few maps from now is actually better for your character development than getting a very large pile in 20 maps. Maybe, especially when there's a conditional element to that. It may be that getting something a few maps from now that you can then trade to get more progression is actually better for you. So there are a lot of hard decisions which we put on the table here for the players.
Damn, I'm going to have to dig out my old economics textbooks.
Excel, right?
Yeah, now you're speaking our language.
Part of Exile.
Let's talk the resolve mechanic. So to clarify, resolve is an independent health bar for the Forbidden Sanctum specifically, and when your resolve runs out, you're kicked out of the Sanctum, dead or not, right?
That's correct. Now, I noticed the reaction when we're announcing the resolve system there, as a lot of players said, why? As though this is a negative thing, but I want to have a chance to explain it.
It's amazing.
So we tried very hard initially to work out a system here that works with your player life. Then there's no additional bars. The problem is, though, Path of Exile's player life fluctuates up and down rapidly. You're constantly healing yourself. You've got recovery. There's no there's no persistence to this. Your player life is like how out of breath you are, if you see what I mean. It's a very brief, it's almost like your heartbeat to some extent. And so if we were to say, look, if you lose some life in this
Kind of
room,
fun.
then when you come back into the next room, that life is going to be missing. So you've got a kind of a progression through the sanctum. Then they just press 1 and heal themselves fully and carry on playing.
Yeah.
And so our experiments where there's no meta progression in it do not function as a roguelike. There has to be a thing where you get worn down. Having said that, half of the plan here, half of the strategy you have to do in your sanctum is work out how you are recovering your resolve. And there are lots of different ways. It's along the lines, I mean, it's as simple as if your resolve is lower than you'd like because the sanctum one is one you're struggling with, then you have to start pathing through various things like fountains or choosing boons which enable more resolve recovery. And every time you have to choose something focusing on resolve recovery, you're implicitly losing some other thing you could be getting, like more rewards or a different axis of power. And so the degree to which you're struggling with the run forces you to focus on staying alive and not getting rewards. But conversely, this means if you're having a good run where you are not struggling at all, you can just kind of ignore your resolve and focus on becoming super powerful.
I wonder.
And this works really well as a roguelike. And I would really encourage people to try it out before judging it based on the fact that it's an additional life bar. We don't add those kind of things, for no reason. And it means as well that you don't have as much pressure on your actual player life. And it's very interesting how build agnostic this is, because it creates a situation where different Path of Exile players can experience the Sanctum in similar ways, despite the fact their builds play quite differently.
This was Q&A is super good to do because you get a chance to explain this, like how you arrived at this design decision that you can't really do in the reveal.
No, find resolve perfect.
Yeah, bog down the reveal for like 10 minutes. So that's super interesting. You actually touched on a topic I wanted to ask. So Resolve seems to reward high mobility play styles that can completely avoid attacks. So since mitigation doesn't affect resolve damage, how does it feel playing like a low mobility tanky melee character in the Sanctum when you kind of just be failing runs due to chip damage that otherwise is not a threat to you?
We thought of that. So we've made it so that the resolve damage is lower if you're close to a target. Essentially, if you're melee and you're right in their face, then you take less resolve damage than if you're further away. And so attacks are also very telegraphed. And that means that even if you're a tanky melee character, you have an opportunity to get out of the way.
Smart.
You probably should consider at least a Quicksilver Flask if you're going into the Sanctum so that you have some ability to respond to stuff, but that's normal Path of Exile play.
Yeah.
Even in Ruthless, where there's significantly less mobility skills, Quicksilver Flasks still exist. The other thing is, if your build is one where you're expecting to take a lot of resolve damage, just spec your relics into resolve recovery. Relics are your meta progression that you can choose. They're locked in for the Sanctum run, and you keep them between runs. So if you feel that you want more resolve recovery, get relics that do that. And if you're a character that's given up mobility, has some ability at the expense of maybe less damage or less tankiness or something, then there are other things they can specialize their relics into if they have enough resolve.
That taking less damage at close range thing is super interesting. Is that like kind of a fast shot mechanic applied to projectile attacks or something?
It's like that for all of the resolve stuff, and this is something that we've realized is necessary because the melee and tanky characters get up close, and so it's better for that to be balanced around it.
All right, cool. And just to clarify for people, if you are playing hardcore, this means you can fail the Sanctum without dying. So I was like, I thought
That's
that was a hardcore league.
Yeah.
Right. The intention of the Forbidden Sanctum is that you will fail your Sanctum many, many times on the path to finding all of the good stuff in it. And so if that meant the hardcore character was dead and had to start again, it just wouldn't be a hardcore compatible league. And so the side effect of Resolve is that hardcore characters can actually engage with it without putting themselves in mortal danger.
Yeah.
It also means
they can also like
the way that
spice up the
experience penalties
rewards
work, high
and
level
difficulty of
play
Sanctum.
without putting
Not
their
that you don't
current
lose your hardcore
experience
character.
so
It's
much on the
perfect.
line. I mean, it's still very. I mean, I've died in the Sanctum numerous occasions with legitimate player life deaths because I was careless, but it's certainly easier from a player life point of view than, say, high level mapping is.
Well, that kind of speaks to the concept of Resolve as a whole. Resolve is about how well you've done over the course of the entire dungeon, whereas your health is how well you've done in this specific engagement, which is an interesting kind of like two-faceted approach that we don't normally have in Path of Exile. Like if you do bad at the start of a map, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the rest of the map, right?
Yeah, and it's also meant that if we want something to be dangerous, we up the resolve a bit. We don't up its damage, threatening the actual characters.
Interesting. Cool. All right. So to clarify on the sanctified relics, these are the ones where the effects work on your character outside of the Sanctum.
That's correct. Yeah, both inside and outside. So these are permanent power progression for characters. They're hard to get. They're very end game. You know, we're talking late maps here, and they're obviously, due to the fact that they can't be crafted and can't be traded, means that you are very limited in how many of these you get access to. But they are very powerful, and because of the fact that they can't be crafted or traded, we've made sure to juice the mods on them and make sure it's not watered down. These are relics which will significantly affect the character power of your build. Now, they are shared among all the characters on your account, or meaning you can equip, from the same pool. So it does mean that if you find one for one character and you want to use it on a different build, it's entirely possible to.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. How does the Sanctum work in a party then?
Okay. Got a bunch of rules here. Short answer is, as with all recent leagues, we want party play to work, but we also want it so that people don't feel encouraged to choose things through party play.
I really want to see that.
The philosophy basically is,
it's just
like, one of the problems
you
with
gain
Arch Nemesis with the
onslaught.
whole culling situation is that players realize when they find a certain
character.
monster
That's
that,
insane.
I now have to engage with other humans in order to get maximum result here. And we want Sanctum to work in a party without creating the feeling that you have to engage with humans in order to get the best out of your Sanctum. It shouldn't feel like you only want to go in there when you have a whole bunch of friends who are online at the same time. So we've come up with rules that enable you to play as a party, and certainly there are some benefits for doing so, but there is also some liability to it. And so the way it works is the Sanctum is always that of the map owner. The person who created the map is the one whose Sanctum you're playing. So if Ziggy and I are playing and we're doing Ziggy's Sanctum, he's the one getting the progress for that. I'm there to help, and afterwards it would be nice if he reciprocated and we did my Sanctum as well, but it's primarily you're one that's progressing. And so this means that you are the one who makes the choices about stuff. This is the one, it's your relics matter there. We're using your gold, your boons, your afflictions, and your resolve bar. That's the important thing to note. If you invite other party members into your Sanctum with you, they don't just get a free ability to have their own resolve bar, which doesn't matter, or they can run around and distract the monsters. You are, as a party, sharing the resolve bar with the map owner. And this means that extra party members can't just go and suicide themselves on stuff to distract the monsters. They actually have to be playing properly.
That's good.
Party member deaths do not end the current run, so if they happen to die legitimately, that doesn't screw up what you're doing. There's a bunch of other small rules there, like party members can view the merchant and view the map, but only the map owner actually makes the choices and purchases stuff. In practice, what this means is it's fun to bring people in and play together. It does give you a small advantage from a combat point of view if you have multiple players, but you do all have to be playing cohesively, so only bring in party members you trust. You can also drop party members in and out, so by that I mean, I can play this room with Ziggy and the next one with someone else, and because it's sharing my resources, that's compatible without having to have like a party resolve bar that's reserved for a specific group of people.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
So if I bring a viewer in and they want to sabotage me, they can run in front of all the monsters.
Yep.
Great.
That would be hilarious. You guys should do that.
Please. Okay. We got a couple of chat questions on the mechanics here specifically as well. Also, I just wanted to add another one. When you die in the Sanctum via resolve death,
yes,
and your character flops on the ground like a fish, are you fully protected from taking any damage from any source dots, anything like that? You guys have checked, right?
Yes. I checked this yesterday. The list of things you are I'll read it to you. Cannot be damaged. Minions take no actions. You have grace period. Dealt no damage. Minions have no damage. Minions cannot be damaged. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay, cool.
Just 17 excellent. Modifiers start.
Ding, 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 ding. We didn't want any people like, I fell over in the Sanctum and then I died when I couldn't control my character. So, good. Excellent. Losing a resolve death, TK Hectic asks, is your XP lost or is your XP protected?
Yes.
My belief is, correct me if I'm, so that was the dev check. You don't lose experience if you fail out through to resolve. And that's because it isn't actually a death. It doesn't increase the deaths count. You don't lose experience. You don't lose hardcore characters. It's entirely basically fainting and being ejected.
Gotcha. Malik asks, do we need to interact with the league mechanic every zone, or can we somehow build them up or save them to run them all at once?
You do interact with it in every zone, and it's not a particularly long encounter. These aren't very large rooms, but yes, you should interact with every zone.
Yeah, sometimes you literally you would probably just portal in and click a fountain and leave, right? And then go back to your map?
The structure is that every room, so the basic way it works is you take the portal and you appear in a small antechamber, which enables you to make a choice. You click on the map, have a look at what the options are of where you want to go next. You can look a few ahead, and you lock in a choice, and then a door, one of the 3 doors, well, up to 3 doors in that room slides open. So you go through. Now you're in the actual main sanctum room. So you do whatever the objective is in there, which may be just getting to the exit or killing the guards or whatever. And this is not designed to take long. It's meant to not interrupt your mapping from a pace point of view.
Yeah.
And then you end up in the reward room. Every room has a reward, and these vary from all the things we've talked about, fountains, affliction fountains, merchant, treasure room, and so on, or the offer one, which is the item deferral, and a whole bunch of other. I should add, there are a lot of other reward rooms we haven't shown in the live stream. Like the goal here is players explore and find stuff, so we only showed a subset.
That is the fun part,
in the
playing the video game.
And so after you've done that, you're right back into the map you were playing. And so it's a relatively quick process and does improve your sanctum progress or give you some actual currency with each room you play.
Yeah, for some behind the scenes insight here, for this one we were specifically like, let's try and avoid spoilers as much as possible for like the things you can discover in the Forbidden Sanctum. So there's a bit of a discovery process there.
There's a lot of discovery, and there's quite a lot of story as well. Like there's an actual reason why the Sanctum is, got this bad person in there and what's going on with that. But we much prefer people actually enjoy that rather than us dumping it all on them here.
And bosses too, I'm very excited.
Yeah, lots of boss fights.
Lots. I was thinking there might just be like 2 or something. Very good. Official Arrow asks, do totems, when they take damage, lose your resolve? And I'll tack onto that minions as well.
No, they do not.
Great. Excellent. Does self-inflicted damage affect resolve?
I don't think it does. There's a lot of shrugging. No, it's only damage that's tagged with affecting your resolve, like ones from the monsters. There are some, let's say, environmental hazards in the Sanctum. You can see it briefly in some of the footage of some big molten orbs flying around and so on, and that kind of thing. An object in the middle of the room that's spewing out laser beams that rotates, for example. That stuff will hurt your resolve. But it's really telegraphed. Like, it's very easy for people to deal with.
Well, there you go. That answers Monkey Dota's question as well. So we'll move on to the next topic, which is endgame changes. So the need to swap between bossing and mapping in the Atlas trees was definitely something that felt awkward. So I'm pretty excited to learn a bit more about that change. Many of the nodes have been rolled into the game as default now for bossing. But are there any passives that remain on the Atlas tree for bossing reward stuff? I'm guessing there are still nodes, for example, to enable the Uber versions of the various bosses, at least?
Yes, there are Uber nodes still, so if you want to play the Uber fights, you can allocate the passive, but thankfully that's a very small investment that you wouldn't do particularly often. And the main problem, which is where you feel like you have to fully spec into bosses and then fully unspec back into mapping, which is a large investment, is not there anymore. And it's worth noting, the kind of people that are doing Uber pinnacle farming can afford the regrets to flick a passive on and off from time to time. But basically, the plan is that you can play bosses at any time without feeling like you have to respec your tree or you're missing out on something.
I mean, it's also important to note that the Ubers are not the default bosses now, thankfully. Very good. Some of the allocatable boss nodes made things more challenging in addition to more rewarding. So, for example, Inevitable Ambush, which added a second Guardian to the Guardian fights. Are things like this made default behavior now, or are they still passives, or are they just gone?
The ones that add extra challenge and rewards are gone for now, but this isn't a we don't like them, they're gone forever. It's a case that we want to bring them back in some form. And we have some plans for this. They probably won't be an at 320 release, but we do have some cool ways where basically the ability to opt in to the challenge and reward is not going to come from the tree, because that creates the problems we've discussed, but it will come from somewhere. And so players will be able to get their challenge and reward back for those. But in the meantime, obviously, there's still a lot of ways
maybe as a
to
map
ramp up
modifier,
the juice
right?
and
Maybe you can
these
roll a
encounters.
map that says unique bosses have a chance
Jack
to
was
spawn
wondering
another
if,
unique
Atlas
boss off.
tree will be viewable today.
That same
alongside
influence or
patch notes,
something.
or is that a little bit later, maybe?
I don't think it's today, but our expectation is to release it before release so that you do get a chance to plan around it.
Okay.
What was that?
Reign of
Gem
Games
links
asked. There was mention of boss nodes being moved from the Atlas passive tree to the bosses directly. To avoid what happened last league with loot, are there any number changes happening with the modifiers?
I'm unaware of any. I mean, we've tried very hard to communicate everything as clearly as we can in the patch notes. I mean, I can't promise we haven't missed anything, but we have scoured stuff in order to try to make sure it's complete, and also written the live stream and our information are based on this kind of stuff. So we are trying very hard to disclose any small changes like that which would have an impact. I'm not aware of any stuff we haven't spoken about there.
All right, let's talk a bit about rare monsters. I think a lot of players are very happy to read the manifesto about the replacement of the Arch Nemesis system for rare monsters with a new, more, I guess, Nemesis-like system. Do you think that this new system will still achieve the goals that you set out to achieve with Arch Nemesis, though?
So the goal of Arch Nemesis initially was modernization of the effects and their balance. We felt that the old monster mods were just really old. We just basically needed to give them a fresh coat of paint. Now, our fresh coat of paint included some stuff that players didn't like, and so we're trying very hard to make sure the new system does achieve the core goals of Arch Nemesis without having the things that people didn't like. And so, to that effect, it now does use modern effects. There's a lot of cool stuff that we weren't doing with the system that was 2 systems ago, and the balance is appropriate for current Path of Exile. So it's definitely ticks those boxes, but at the same time, it's trying to be much more understandable and simple and a bit less in your face than Arch Nemesis was.
On a very kind of just like rough feelings basis, how do you think like an old Arch Nemesis compares to a new rare monster on average?
My impression so far is that the monsters are on average a bit easier, but the key thing is this: a previous Arch Nemesis mod had a grab bag of stuff that it did. It generally made the monster do more damage in a generic sense. It also had an interesting thing that happened gameplay-wise, and it added a bunch of defensive properties, and often more, often on multiple axes. And so it cohesively had a kind of a, this is a fire, it's going to screw you up with fire in 4 different ways kind of theme. And so therefore it applied to pretty much any character, right? It would have some way of interacting with them. The new mods are very simple. The new mods say, cool, you're not going to be able to do much fire damage to me, or I'm going to do a lot of fire damage to you, or I have a magma barrier. They just do one thing. And therefore they're very, let's just say, Boolean against certain players. I'll give an example. Let's say you run into a rare monster with 2 mods, and those 2 mods are that it will blind you and that it's resistant to fire damage. So if you're playing a cold caster, neither of those mods affects you whatsoever. They're literally nothing. And so you can kill a monster easily and it doesn't do anything extra to you. Great. And on average, you're often encountering this. But if you're playing a fire melee character, it blinds you, which is going to affect your accuracy, and the fire damage is going to be mitigated against it. This will be a harder fight. It will wake you up a bit when you encounter it. And so you're going to find this situation where a lot more monsters are just speed bumps along the way and aren't causing a problem, and sometimes there'll be one which causes you issues because of your build. And so it's quite a different experience for different players, but overall, the monsters are at a glance much simpler in terms of what they do, and you're not encountering the onerous, long, frustrating fights every single area like you were before.
See, I like that because you feel good when you're playing a build and you run into a challenge. You're like, "Ha, my build doesn't care about this at all." You feel clever, even though it's just kind of the luck of the draw on that one. But yeah, that feels good. So on the modifiers, only doing what they say, fantastic. However, there still kind of remains a problem where this information is in a small text list at the top of the screen. Have you guys explored the idea of color coding the new modifiers in some way to help players identify them? Or maybe using other systems like, I don't know, little symbols or maybe like color coded glows on monsters to denote certain effects and so on?
They do have visual effects on them in many cases, so you often can see what a monster does based on what it looks like. But otherwise, what we focused on here is to succinctly and completely describe what the monster does in text. And this is a list that has more words than Arch Nemesis, because Arch Nemesis would have something like Flamewalker, and then what does that mean? Who knows? You'd learn, of course, but there were 70 plus of them.
Oh, yeah.
And so now it specifically says what it does. This may mean more reading. It may not be a good endpoint here, right? It might be that we need to make the things slightly more concise, but I'm really worried about us getting back into keywording, because part of the problem with keywording was then a player can't look at the keyword and actually understand what it does. So I don't know. Longer term, there are probably solutions here. Maybe the right answer is to put some color coding back. Currently, it's not color coded. That was something which went with the keywords in Arch Nemesis. I mean, it could be restored, but we'd like people to play and give us some feedback. If you guys can suggest how the mods can be made further clear, so that you can easily identify them while you're playing, that's really useful. Have a go. We're open to feedback here. We want to make sure the monster mod system achieves our goals and is still easy to read.
Yeah, I think the color coding would be a good thing. It could be something that could be done gradually over time as well. Like you start with elementally aligned things are color coded alongside their elements. For example.
One thing we have done, and this isn't something we spoke about on the live stream, is that the text under the monsters that says like resist fire, resist cold, or vulnerable to fire, vulnerable to cold, the one that kicks in when they have approximately 15% resistance, was feeling a bit spammy alongside all these mods. Like when we're asking you to read 2 or 3 short lines of mod text, having like resist fire, resist cold underneath it as well was quite a lot. And so we've moved those to little symbols over on the right of the life bar. And so if you're the kind of character who cares about which monsters are fire resistant, you're just glancing at symbols now rather than trying to read text. And that's helped declutter it quite a bit.
So that's great. That sounds awesome. I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, it's kind of like what I was talking about. Yeah, little symbols in life bars. Great idea. Excellent. Good to know.
Sweet.
So let's look at the loot goblin
Perfect.
issue.
We'll
It
see
seems
how
like
this
it'll
works
be
in the game.
solved by players simply just not knowing which monster is going to be the big loot pinata. Good news indeed. But how do you feel about the loot conversion system overall? Because I thought this system was quite interesting, but
That was
maybe a
cool,
little bit tainted by how it was implemented. So for the unfamiliar, the loot conversion system is this new system that takes what a monster would usually drop and converts it into a new type of reward, like all currency, for example.
So we've reviewed the loot conversions and added some new ones, dropped some old ones, like the ones that just gave you piles and piles of flasks, for example. As far as I know, that doesn't exist anymore. And we've gone through and made sure to use the feedback that people have had. The
But
special...
I liked flaws.
So the way it works is rare monsters drop more items than regular monsters. By itself, that should be enough reward, but we want it to be interesting, and we want people to feel like they're really, that there's an extra reason to kill rare monsters, because you could otherwise ignore them. And so you basically have these bonus drops that can occur, and bonus drops include conversions, but they also include a lot of other stuff. And there's a chance of getting the bonus drops that's proportional to the mods that are on the monster. For example, if a monster has 2 mods on it, then it has 2 chances to get a bonus. If it has 4 mods, it has 4 chances to get a bonus. And the individual mods have higher chances, where I believe, like, the more difficult ones, like, for example, if there's one that's similar to one of the old Pantheon mods, and that it does, like, it evokes some, god who comes and smites you, for example, then it is significantly higher. There's a significantly higher chance that it's going to have a special drop here. And what you find is when a monster has, the convergence of all of the really big mods in it, it's a hard fight, that results in there being a very high chance of one of these special drops, which is potentially a conversion, or potentially one of the other ones we haven't spoken about yet. And this results in a thing where you have a lot of incentive to fight rare monsters, a lot of incentive to fight hard rare monsters, but you don't feel that you can assess a monster beforehand and then try to min-max what your exact party composition should be in order to get the maximum rewards from that fight. We've also tried to smooth this out a bit more. Like, the thing in the past where you could potentially, under the right circumstances, get dozens and dozens of divines from a monster, and then everyone else feels like they're getting nothing, wasn't great. So we're trying to make sure that there are still spikes, but it's a bit less spiky than before. There's a bit more spread across all of the different things, and a lot of the bad options are a bit better now.
Spread it out, lift the bottom up, and push the top down.
Doing to map bosses as well? Like, map bosses have definitely gotten better over time in terms of reward and more interesting, which I like. But it still seems like, in a lot of cases, they could get a little spicier.
It's worth looking into. Yeah, we've been focusing this cycle on trying to get the monster mods into a good place and to scrub all the arch nemesis off everything.
Yes. Oh, feels good.
Those power washing videos? It's like that.
Yeah, I'll get my gurney out and hose off the arch nemesis filth.
Hell yeah. Power washing videos?
Oh,
heck
dear.
Some guy cleaning some carpet? Heck yeah.
A lot of people in chat asked,
that in
how
bed?
will Headhunter work with the new monster mods?
Good sleep.
Okay. This is the first question we're expecting.
Oh god,
there are way more mods now, and that means Headhunter players that are getting a lot of mods cap out later. Previously, because there were relatively few arch nemesis mods, I mean, there were still dozens to be fair, but there were fewer. Once you've got them all active, you can't get more. Whereas here there are far more mods, and so you can have far more upper end power. Having said that, these do less than the arch nemesis mods because that's what you asked us to do, and so they do implicitly. Like at the low end, Headhunter is less powerful. At the high end, Headhunter is more powerful. You pick which is best.
It's a kind of a slower ramp up to a higher potential sort of deal. You
wait, but can it stack now?
Calling Headhunter Val Cleave now.
Excellent. Immortalum asks, does that mean no more fractured flasks because of the flask thing being removed?
Do you happen to know that?
Well, is there a flask conversion that's not been?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the flask conversion is gone. That and the piles of whetstones ones are 2 examples.
No!
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, it'll fracture regular flask drops.
Okay. Simple Cookie asks, will the Atlas passive that increase the amount of mods on rare monsters be added back with the new rare monster changes?
I don't think it has been. Do you know that? Yeah. I mean, we certainly discussed it, but we want to kind of get a vanilla experience here of how many rare monster mods is appropriate, and an issue with feedback is if there are ways to juice it up and then people say there are too many mods, we don't know if they necessarily had that active. So we'll consider it for the future, but this has been a year of rare monster mods, so let's just try this new system and see if people appreciate the changes, and then we can look at further changes to it.
been a wild ride, Chris.
It's been a
Alright.
wild ride.
So recently you swapped kind of Divine and Exalted Orbs
2022,
around.
the year
Now
of
that we've
arch
had a
nemesis.
league with the various changes surrounding these high-end currencies, I'd like to know what were the goals of effectively swapping Divines and Exalts, and how effective have the changes been?
Oh yeah, true.
Well, the goals were that exalts were used more for crafting, that someone would actually consider taking an item and using an exalted orb to get another mod that is random.
I exalted something
That's
and got
happening
tier
now, a
1
lot more
rarity
than it
on
was
an item.
before. Secondly, we wanted it to be
Poggers
harder
would have
to
never
divine
done this
items,
before.
not just because we're
It's
mean,
good.
but because it makes well-rolled uniques more valuable. Previously, because divines were really accessible, well, relatively accessible, it meant that if you have a really rolled unique, it didn't really feel that special because someone can slam a few divines into it to get something like that. Now there is quite a wide variance of stuff. Like look at something like Brass Dome, for example, where the the worst versions of it are worth quite a lot less than the really good ones. And that's more fun because then you find something that's just a much better version of something that someone else has that's worth less, and you feel good about that. These goals were achieved, right? Like it certainly is harder to divine items. It is easier to exalt them. The economy survived. Life goes on. We'll continue to make broad changes whenever we feel like it that affect the economy, but it's sometimes good to just cause a bit of a shift in how people value items so you don't get entrenched values. You don't get people believing, oh, this item is 6x forever. It changes because the game changes.
So for the standard players that are still
Yeah.
coping with their stash full of exalts because they couldn't convert them over
Prometheus
in
is
time.
back.
This is
Yeah.
like
go.
seriously, like, oh, I had entirely all my money in Bitcoin and now it's worthless, right? Like diversify, right? Again,
Holy
economics.
crap, dude.
Chris is teaching multiple economics lessons today.
Under Exile will set you up for life. Have a diversified portfolio of currency items.
Okay.
And not
It's
just
really
currency. Keep some rares, keep some crafting stuff. Anyway.
yeah.
Holy
you gotta
fuck,
invest in
dude.
some high-end
Chris is
one of a
just
kind
shitting on
items, right?
NFT again.
Old skin maps, maybe alternate.
Oh yeah.
I found out I have this red beak on my account from the early race seasons. Like I'm talking, I logged in to do races back in 2013 to literally test they were working and got an alternate art red beak, and now it's worth a mirror in standard.
Wait, is it? I'm pretty sure I have one of those.
Well, I mean that was just with a quick search, but yeah. So invest in a variety of different items in your standard portfolio if you don't want to get wrecked by economic changes.
If only I played in standard, I'd be rich. It's so good. It's interesting to see some new Vase skills. It's certainly been a while. I tried to like.
It's fine
look
if
up
Chris
exactly
pushes a
when,
little
and I
bit
think
back. He had to take a
3.3 incursion was the last time, which was get ready, 17 leagues ago. So
what?
powerful, longer cooldown or like ultimate skills can make gameplay quite a bit more engaging, I think. And a lot of people love Vase skills for that reason. It's certainly an underutilized skill category, though, not something you add new skills to all the time. So how do you decide
That's
then whether
true.
to make a skill, a Vase skill, or just a regular skill that does a similar thing?
Well, if we're trying to come up with an ultimate skill, Val skills are ones that we have a control over you only using periodically, whereas regular skills, we generally don't put big cooldowns on them unless there's a bypassable thing. So if it's something where there's a good cooldown bypass mechanism, then it will probably be a regular skill. Now, the thing we're doing with Val skills here is we want to buff melee. There are a number of like you may be thinking, wow, that's a lot of changes to melee, or you may be thinking, where are all the melee changes, depending on whether you happen to notice stuff. But the changes to endgame unique weapons affect melee. The Val skill stuff affects melee in a way I'll discuss in a second. There's a bunch of other bits and pieces like melee splash is being added to.
Dude, how much more fizz damage does the Shaper Sword got now?
Talk about the details
200?
secret, but you'll find there's some totem mastery that affects melee in an interesting way. So there's a few bits and pieces that together
by the way, that was without quality,
melee
right?
buffs. But the theory with the Val ones is we targeted a set of weaker melee skills where previously, if the player is using that skill, they just do the damage they were doing. And rather than just saying, oh, we're going to give the skill a little bit more
With the
damage,
buff
which has
balls,
various
boys.
issues,
Balls on the
we've created
menu.
a Val version, which at face value means that every X attacks, you get to do a more powerful one, which is an indirect buff. But we've tried to design many of these Val skills so that they also directly buff the main version. Like Val Cleave is an example where if you're using Val Cleave occasionally, your cleaves themselves are more powerful. And so it's doing a more powerful attack sometimes and increasing the power of your other attacks the rest of the time.
That's pretty good.
And because of the change where using the Val gem gives you the regular version of the skill, then there's no excuse not to be using Val Cleave if you were playing a Cleave character. And so overall, there are a lot of Val skills there that cause melee characters to be quite a lot more powerful. It also meant that we could, for example, target skills that we felt needed it. Now, when you see the patch notes in a little bit, you'll notice there's a small nerf to Lightning Strike, right? And you may be thinking, well, if we're trying to buff melee, what are you doing nerfing Lightning Strike? And the answer is it's far, 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 far
They
better
got
than the other
him.
melee skills. And so we're buffing the category, but that doesn't mean that every skill needs
Lightning
to come
Strike
out
was fucking
entirely,
stupid strong.
entirely with additional damage.
Didn't
on
I
it.
beat
And so
Maven
you'll find that
in
melee
Sentinel?
overall is more powerful, but
Week
within
2?
the melee category, there's quite a lot more options available than there were before.
All right. So yeah, you like Cleave's a little underutilized. +2 radius not enough. We'll just give it a mini headhunter. Well, that'll help. should do. Evolve skills then a concept that's likely
Also,
to
it
carry
makes sense for
forward into Path of Exile
cleave
2
because you
with its ultimate
cleave
skill
the head off.
system.
It makes sense.
No comment.
What?
Okay.
But what?
Nice. Frozen Legion is a pretty big news as well. So to clarify, for people who missed a particular detail about it, it's actually a spell that summons statues that then attack with your weapon, right?
Yep, that's
Super
correct.
cool. A spell attack. So you've done it now. There's nothing to stop you from casting a spell that shoots your bow's arrow or attack that casts a spell that then does another attack. So
Wait,
is this something you're going to explore more potentially?
Hold the phone.
I'd say consider this as a hint at the way we're designing some Path of Exile 2 skills.
A little bit more going on. I like it. Very cool. We have
it looks very PoE 2.
Oh, everyone was asking about divine shards. Yeah, I see your chat. I see you spamming divine shards. Okay, everyone wants to know, are divine shards going to be a thing? Chris?
They're called Chaos Orbs. Shards have problems. Okay, so we designed Path of Exile to get away from the concept of there being a homogeneous gold currency in games, right? And I understand every league we do, we introduce gold in it, but that's, within the confines of that particular scope. But overall, in main Path of Exile, we want to make sure that the currency items have fluctuating values relative to each other. It's very important as part of the way that trade works. And so taking something like Divine Orbs that are the de facto currency for high-end trades and adding a granular, proportional, like Divine Sense thing is not something that we would do unless there was a good reason for it. And so we'd have no plans to add Divine Shards. We think it would potentially be negative. It's okay to use cheaper currency as the Divine Shards. Like, you can take Chaos Orbs and turn them into Divines through trade or other mechanisms.
Yeah.
The value fluctuates, but that's what we wanted to be doing.
Ooh, Siggy, please ask for higher stacking of Chaos.
Booze,
please.
Alex asked,
I love you,
clones
Siggy.
from
Please.
the new skills count as minions. That'll be the Frozen Legion. I only ever saw them referred to as statues.
They do not.
The clones
Right.
like Val Double Strike or General Strike.
Yeah, so it's like Val Double Strike, for example.
The attack onto plane asked, does Valve Flicker attack one target multiple times? So does it have like boss applications then, or is it more about pack clear?
Can hit the same target more than once, so on a boss, every single hit.
Yeah. Against a single target, it will do every single hit against that target.
Very anime. Cool. Okay.
It is very anime, yes.
Oh no, Chris!
Let's talk crafting and league mechanics a little bit.
That's getting clipped.
Challenge
That's
leagues
getting
in Path
clipped
of
and turned into
Exile
an
always
audio
been
file.
best for you guys to experiment with systems. Some of them intended to go cool.
I know what menu
if they
sub
work out,
sound
for
is.
example, but otherwise, others are like.
Oh
never
god,
really
chat is
intended to go core
spamming
and just
I. Here he
specifically
goes.
For that. But even in that case, I imagine there's a chance that they can
confirm.
give you some useful information to inform future design. So crafting systems have been a bit of a trend lately, I noticed, with leagues. Like Sentinel Recombinators, for example, and Lake of Calandra Mirroring. Some of these crafting systems end up being particularly liked by the players too. I think people really like the Recombinators. Are these sorts of new crafting systems designed with becoming core features in mind, or are they more experiments to explore future design possibilities? And is crafting systems something that you're keen to keep experimenting with?
We want to introduce something new in every league, a new way of getting items, or a new thing you can do with items. We found that if we leave it in the game just as a de facto thing, then you accumulate dozens and dozens and dozens of systems that create both power creep and complexity creep for the way the crafting works. And that's good. Path of Exile is meant to have that stuff, and power creep is natural, and there's no big problem there. But we have found that introducing stuff like recombinators and then turning it off until we've had a good think about how it fits in is probably safer. Like, a lot of expectations with Harvest would have been reduced if we hadn't reintegrated it into the game before we were ready to and before we fully understood the consequences of that. And so with the mist from Lake of Calandra or the recombinators, we are looking for ways that we can bring them back. And we do plan to continue to introduce systems like this, some of which will stick around, some of which won't. An example
That's
is
fine.
Sanctified Relics in the Sanctum offer a lot of character power, and that's a Sanctum-specific thing. We don't expect that Sanctified Relics will necessarily exist after Sanctum is finished. Maybe we make it core, maybe we don't, maybe we keep them, maybe we don't, but they're a thing for that league that let you experiment with builds that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. There are a lot of things in there which let you push your build further than you normally would, and that's something that's cool about the Sanctum League. It may be that it becomes a permanent part of Path of Exile later, and we are looking for ways to bring stuff back. Like, I don't know if this is actually a thing, but at least in our planning, one of the things that the monster mods could cause, you know how they have those special drops that occur that we were speaking about a few minutes ago, one of the things that they could drop was the mist that mirrors from Calandra, for example, the one that gives you the 2 currency items. I don't know what form that will be in. If it's in 320, we're still sorting out the details of some of the exotic ones like that.
But what?
But that's an example of us taking a system that was used as a reward mechanic for a league and then making it a rare reward from another system in the game.
Cool. Speaking of things that potentially can come back in the future, is there any word on Ultimatum?
Not yet.
Ultimatum is split into 2 pieces. There's the boss fights with the uniques. They're back in the game, as of like last league, I think, or the one before. Time is a blur. And then there's the actual Ultimatum mechanic. Now, we have a plan for the Ultimatum mechanic, and we mentioned there is a plan for a while, and that plan is not due yet, but it is coming at some point until it changes. Having said that, the offer/deferral system in Sanctum does feel a lot like it. This is where we say, here is a thing, or you can keep going in order to double it, essentially, but with quite a lot more doubling going on. And so players who liked the risk of Ultimatum will certainly like that mechanic.
There's not even
Interesting.
keeping or
the
risk.
There.
There's not even risk reward with
very
Sanctum.
Briefly,
There's
just 2 small questions on
even
Ruthless.
more rewards.
How is the play interesting?
Get ready to get my
to the Ruthless
Tabulite
Alpha
Act
from
7
that
again, boys. Let's
The alpha
go.
testers are very positive. That's really good to see. I'm glad to see they're enjoying it. And hopefully those who couldn't get into the alpha and who are interested in that mode can have a chance to check it out when it launches alongside 320.
All right. Is Ruthless a mode that you want to keep making changes to long-term, like rebalancing skills specifically for the mode, for example?
We will do some Ruthless-specific skill balance. Currently, the focus was on getting fundamentals in place, like getting the mode to function. And then if we find time later, we'll be able to use it to make whatever changes are needed on specific skills. And to some extent, with, as you know, with the way Path of Exile works, if there's a skill that's dominant and somewhat trivializing stuff, then we won't have any qualms about ruthlessly nerfing that in that mode. Now, there's a fundamental philosophy difference, right? A player who's playing the main game will get upset if we nerf their skills, and this is because there's a way they like to play Path of Exile. If we just decide we hate minion characters one day, then all these people who come to Path of Exile to enjoy playing minion characters as a reliable way they can engage with the game would be upset that now they can't do the thing they like. In Ruthless, all bets are off. We will make whatever changes we feel like, and it will stay hard, and you will have to adapt, and, you know, the Ruthless players are big boys. They can deal with this.
Did everyone just spamming at Gassy right now?
It should be fine. So we will make some skill-specific changes, and very likely that those changes are not the same as balance changes that we do in the core game. In the core game, we want to make sure all the archetypes are viable and there's good diversity and that kind of stuff, but in Ruthless, we have other objectives.
I'm going to spam you with some uncategorized random questions from chat now.
The areas in the Sanctum are
Kyle NC asks, how does quantity and rarity affect the Sanctum?
I have to recheck the trailer, but it looks like
another question I saw someone ask, map mods don't affect the Sanctum, right? It's a separate zone.
Yeah, your map mods do not affect the Sanctum. Quantity and rarity on your character will affect your drops you get from the monsters, I believe, right? There are monsters in the Sanctum that you can kill, and they drop items, so it's not like, you know, the goal is that when you're mapping, it doesn't reduce the amount of item drops you're getting by going and playing in the Sanctum. You do get drops, and those monsters are technically unique monsters, so technically they're pretty juiced, and quantum rarity do affect that. So going into the Sanctum, killing some monsters is roughly similar to killing monsters in the map that you came from, plus all the Sanctum rewards on top.
Nice. Damaris asks, how endgame is the new mechanic? So that'd be Sanctum. Does that you encounter that on like the first beach as you start the campaign, or is it kick in later?
Yep, kicks in right at the beginning. So basically, you start doing your first Sanctum at level like 2 or whatever. You know, as you get into the coast, and you probably won't get very far in those Sanctum runs, but it's a good opportunity to start learning, start accumulating some relics and so on, and you'll need them because later on it gets really hard. There are some things in the Sanctum, like the special endgame uniques, that can only be dropped if you are very high in maps, because they're very, very powerful pinnacle things. But yeah, it does play throughout the entire campaign.
Great. El Swigo asks, if Soul Taker is going to be so insanely rare, what does this mean for Kingmaker, the item that you can make out of Soul Taker?
I'm just gonna smile.
Mhm.
We've thought of that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mystery.
Maybe it's been buffed as well.
Oh, okay. Something to be revealed potentially. Then I'm getting chat. Will our Star Forges or Line Eyes Glares sitting in Standard be buffable to their Headhunter tier strengths with a Divine Orb?
Yep.
What? What was that?
I know
Nice.
it's stupid, isn't it? But we had to do that because it's fair and because of divination cards that you could have been hoarding and all the other things. So yeah, you get some free ridiculous items in Standard if you had diversified into them.
Standard chat trade is exploding right now.
Their servers
Excellent.
spiking.
Someone says stonks. That's great.
Oh no, not audio clip.
Okay. FDXPO asks, with endgame unique weapons becoming more rare,
Oh,
what about
boy.
their respective divination cards? Like
This is a
Star Forges, for
spicy one,
example?
holy one.
Yes, we are adjusting the divination cards. This means in Standard, the old divination cards are now worth more.
Alright.
I don't know, the original question, what was it? I have to rewatch it.
Man with Hat, any plans to decouple melee from buffs granted by totems, Ancestral Protector or War Chief?
This is actually a hot topic internally. I don't know the answer. Like, I think it's the case where our designers acknowledge this is a problem and are looking for solutions, but maybe we've doubled down on it a little bit in this one because of that totem mastery I mentioned before. You'll see what I mean.
Wait and see. Doug Isolas, will Ruthless launch
There's
on
a
console
totem
at League
mastery
launch
now,
too?
a new one? What?
I believe so. Yeah.
Great. Lots of ultimatum questions, which we already asked. Theory Crafter and many other people ask, is Reforge keep prefix / suffix coming back in some shape or form? Speaking of things coming back.
I'm not aware of it coming back. No, sorry.
Okay. And is there any ETA on the
Old
next mystery
system
box
gone,
release
new
from Forest
system in.
Bishop?
Eldritch.
It's likely to be at the League
Eldritch
launch
items.
or within a day or so of it.
Eldritch currency.
All right. Spooky asks, Chris, can you please share your current thoughts on the loss of the historic buff to loot? There you go. That's a big one.
So this is one of those tricky things where, like, we feel people completely misunderstood what is there, and like we didn't want to go on a big rant and try to correct people, but we posted some numbers at some point during the league and then left it. But it boils down to this: if you're a regular player playing regular content, as we can see based on like looking at what regular players are doing, and by regular I mean people in red maps, then there is no loss of anything. It's better than it was before. Like Sentinel is higher than it was previously, and people didn't believe us. They said doubt. They weren't happy with that, so we just stopped trying to push the point. If you were one of those groups that were juicing stuff to insane degrees with 6-person parties and all the crazy stuff going on and using exactly the right league mechanics with exactly the right stuff, then yeah, absolutely there was a nerf there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the community like feeling about this was that we nerfed the average person. Like, it's a little bit of a Robin Hood thing where we tried to take from the rich and give to the poor, and the communication around the whole thing was poorly done. We didn't explain it, like patch note it correctly. We didn't communicate about it. We didn't really understand the nature of the changes fully ourselves. But where we got it to with the buffs we did was better than where it was before, unless you were doing one of the crazy juice situations.
It's kind of true. Like, I
And
was
so
just blasting
it was frustrating
2
for
weeks
us because
ago.
we felt that the miscommunication had kind
want me
of
to show you my
the
excellence
miscommunication
again?
is our fault, but we
It's
felt the whole situation
insane,
kind of
the
ran
loot
away
I'm
and
getting.
caused people to really hate the loot situation more than they
Crazy.
should have
And
done.
I'm the average person. I'm just blasting red
Anyway,
maps, right?
I think that
It's insane.
this has taught us a lot of lessons about communication, but there's no need to further improve drops related to that. The amount of currency and stuff that you're getting, and uniques, in fact, especially uniques that you're getting for regular gameplay involving a variety of different leagues, does exceed what it was in 3.18. It's just that if you're playing the crazy Imperium style stuff as we describe it, then you're certainly getting less, and that was an intentional part of the change.
Is there
No, I
has there
can
been
see
some
that.
sort of change to
Just,
the way that you're like approaching the reveals
back
and the
on
patch
too much
noting and
loot.
stuff? Maybe
Oh.
like with how you're describing some things, because you don't like historically you've never revealed everything. Like
Also,
there's a lot of
do you
stuff
want to
that's
be
considered
forced doing
not
the
patch
MP
notable changes,
content?
for
Like
example.
what
Has
that
it changed
does?
at all over time?
No.
Historically, we've tried very hard not to talk about
Fuck
drop
that.
rate changes. If we feel that something
Not gonna
drops
have
drop,
fun
we'll
for a
just
long
change
time
it.
with
And for
doing that.
decades,
Nor
or not
can I
decades,
do
but
it.
more than a decade, we have followed that policy. Having said that, we should have talked about the changes to the quantity and rarity bonuses from different league content, because it does affect decisions people are making. There was stuff before that was really juicy and everyone wanted to play that, and we tried to make it more fair so that the leagues are roughly equal, and that's something that should have been communicated more clearly, and we certainly learned the lesson there. And the lack of communication there was not malicious, it was entirely just like, ignorance on our part. There was miscommunications internally. I missed the memo almost literally, and that meant that it wasn't as much part of the marketing as it should have been. And we certainly have tried very hard this time not to make the same mistake again.
All right. Good to hear. Thank you very much for the insights, Chris, and thank you for spending this time together with us, the Q&A. I'll let you get to it, and we'll let them release the patch notes so that everyone can have a read. Thank you very much.
Enjoy, everyone. Thanks so much.
See you later, everyone.
Bye. Patch notes, let's go. All right, boys, let's, what time do we have? Perfect. All right, time to spend 1 billion hours now. Oh my god, new Prime rewards. What 3 awesome games? Quake, Don't Care, Banners of Ruin, never heard of you. Rolls Riddle, I have literally no idea who you are. Spinch, whatever. Cool, Poggers 3 games, thanks. What the thing are you most excited for? Your mom. Got him. Alright. Path of Exile / Sanctum. You know how many times I actually typed this in? Because I was hoping they accidentally released that page. That would have been hilarious. That would have been so good. It would have been so funny. Oh god. Alright. There's an NPC. Please, please, please. Please, let that NPC be in the game. Please. Because we couldn't see her, but we heard her. Yes, Dommy Mommy character. Oh my god. Please. Okay. Dare to enter. Alright, we actually need some music. Hold the phone. We need some music, boys. We need some music. Holy heck, 58,000 people watched the reveal. That's a lot, to be honest. If you think about the trailers, usually get like 200k views, but the 1/4 of it is from Livestream people. I mean, not literally, but that's a lot. Yeah, I think these two. Okay, actually I lied. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I can't play music yet. Because we have to log in, boys. We have to log in. No. Digital downloads on the website. FLAC format. Time to download FLAC. It takes 29 minutes to download this. GG, please. Okay. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Yes. Glad I'm paying $100 a month for my internet. Love it. Why are we doing this? Because usually right now they also release the new theme for the league, and I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. Okay, while this is downloading, let's quickly go back. So, dare to enter. In this league, you will discover the Forbidden Sanctum, an ancient Templar enclave hidden beneath the Fellshrine ruins. So, just wondering, where are the Fellshrine ruins? The Fellshrine ruins are in Act 2 and Act 7. Isn't that where you literally... That is Maligaro's area where you get Maligaro's map, correct? And in Act 2, it's where you do the ascendancy, the trial. Yes. Interesting. What is that symbol? Interesting. So that's where they kind of put it, I guess. But I'm really interested again in the lore. Like, why does it open now, right? Why? Why? How? Maybe she's relevant, right? maybe she opens it for us, right? Maybe she's like a maybe some sort of archivist, right? Maybe she's just really interested in the lore. Oh no, is she the boss fight? Oh no. Well, we'll see. We'll see, boys. So let's check out the... Ooh, Jesus. Spoilers! It's on my anime folder. Ooh. No. No anime. Any eye? God, I already got 2 sound clips from Chris this time. Very anime. And what did he say? Stonks? Oh my god. Okay, I think I need to make a exclamation mark stonks. Gotta write that one down, boys. Stonks. Yes. Alright. Is the new theme in there? Forbidden Sanctum. 4 songs. 4! Boys, let's go. Wait, let me close this. Dark Inspiration is the first one in the list. Doesn't sound like a boss theme. It sounds more like theming, right? So it's a bit loud. It gets louder. It gets even louder. I can see this being the music before you enter. Kind of. Okay. 1:47. Kind of, I guess, like more of a background music, right? While you probably read the rooms and get yourself ready. Get yourself maybe... yeah, just think about that stuff. Alright, alright. Then we have the Forbidden Sanctum is the song itself, or the track. This is 2 minutes and 56 seconds. This also starts with singing, right? Oh no, is the NPC really gonna be the boss? Gonna be interesting. Is that the theme of the league? Like I thought, it's gonna be a longer track again. Holy crap, it gets louder and louder, boys. Volume levels here. It's a very non-typical League theme, in my opinion. Right? It's very drawn out. There are some highs, there's some lows, but the highs aren't as high and the lows aren't as low. Well, usually there were not too many lows, if you know what I mean, or at least how I explain it, I guess. The high moments are like the climax of the song, right? Usually the drop. And the lows are usually kind of like before or at the beginning, right? And there aren't many highs. There weren't many highs in Lake of Kalandra either. But it's drawn out. It's 3 minutes long, so this is probably the theme you're going to hear while you're going through the Sanctum. Is my guess right now. Okay. And then we have Lycia or Lysia. That sounds like a female name. That sounds like her. That sounds like her, maybe. Unless, is Lycia mentioned? Lycia is not mentioned anywhere here. Okay, interesting. I'm good. See what I'm talking about with highs and lows? This is 3 minutes long. If her name is Lycia, okay, in the game, and this is the theme that's called Lycia, she will be the final boss. 1000%. I will put the $100 on that. Or it has to do with her in the final boss fight, kind of like how Danik helped you in the final boss fight in Expedition. Spoiler. That's a long theme. That must be a boss fight theme, because that's 3 minutes long, right? By the way, the themes, the songs for the Eldritch bosses is shorter than this. I just want to point this out again. Yeah, but that's what happens now, you know, when Camille has time to do PoE 2 music, while another person does all the music for PoE 1 right now. Instead of one person doing everything, now they have two people, right? So it's like, oh yeah, can split work, let's go. Like, I would love to know what Camille did while doing the Eldritch boss themes, while probably working on other stuff as well. Yeah, Camille is doing PoE 2 since ever, I think. And now they finally found someone else. And now Michael James Collier is doing the themes probably for the leaks in the future. Maybe Camille is gonna jump in and make one theme for 3.21. I can see that maybe, depending on the theming, right? But I doubt 3.21 will be a very big expansion. I doubt it. Frozen Legion or get it. Frozen Legion? Yeah. Yeah, PoE 2. They probably can't show us everything. But good song so far. I mean, technically I think it's not a song because it's not singing. I think it's composition. You know how many times I rewrote my own script, changing music to composition, because technically I think it's a composition. Either way, you know what I'm talking about. Music, song, track, composition. There's so many different words and all have a different meaning. And I feel like that was an abrupt ending right there. Okay, yeah. So that was Lycia, and we have one more. The track is called Path of the Damned. That is a 1 minute long track. That is very short. Is that the mini-boss theme? That's what we heard from the teaser. I like the build-up. Oh, I am definitely gonna use that one for my video tomorrow. Dropping on YouTube. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use that. Probably the last bit there. That last bit there. I can pretty much time the themes and maybe do a fade between like I can already see it in the timeline. All right, I already know how I'm gonna edit the video. Perfect. So, first of all, I think we have to rewatch the trailer because, as you just mentioned, in terms of workout music, at the end of the trailer, I was like thinking, do I really want to listen to this in the workout? I don't know, but I also was so focused on a billion things because there's so much happening. So actually, I want to go here. We're gonna go for 1440.
Many have met their fate here in the shade of Fell Shrine. So, step lightly. But here you are bound by new rules. My rules. Each step with gold to tempt you.
She is the final
A foe to wound you. A curse to spite you. But do not give up, for vast riches await the bold. Pillage this sanctum if you must. And one day you may uncover its secrets.
Ooh, I like that. I like that voice there. I think it's gonna fit. I'm definitely gonna listen to it in the workout music. I think it doesn't grip me yet, though. Lake of Kalandra also didn't grip me yet. And you can literally play the trailer and I can say everything she says. Because I'm, you know, that one guy that sang the Japanese intros of anime while I was 12, and I can literally say everything. I still have that as a kid. I just watch the trailer of Lake of Kalandra and can pretty much speak everything she says. I know most words or sentences. The timing might be a little bit off, but I can do it. I believe in myself. There's a dog handle thing, and then there are the golems. There's so many things. You can probably scour this for like hours if you wanted to. It's interesting, but let me check again. Was this Lycia? What song are you? What song are you? Are you Path of the Damned? You must be Lycia. Yeah, it's Licia. She is the final boss. By the way, I'm sorry, I know it's super cringe skipping ahead in songs, I know. But I'm trying to find like this... you know what I'm feeling, by the way? Let me just check. Let me just check one thing. Did they make another... Yeah. There's a Forbidden Trailers theme. So it's a track specifically made for the trailer. It probably mixes things. Okay. I will happily put this into my music list for the streams. Perfect, there we go. There was also a Lake of Kalandra trailer theme. It's in the trailers tab, if you're interested. The percussion, dude, I don't even know what that means. I like the beeps and the boops. So yeah, that's the trailer theme specifically. Dude, can we just appreciate this? Let me download this first. Can we just, like, appreciate the fucking detail in the goddamn books? Like, dear fucking lord. Like, an artist stood there for fucking hours putting the goddamn books in so they look good. You know, tumbling some of them over, making the tile sets probably for hours on end. And I'm pretty sure there are maybe, like, even... You know, like how this starts off, so they can be rearranged in different ways. Like, fuck me. Just Jesus H. Christ, man. Like, Jesus Christ. It's beautiful. I wonder how many people are going in the Fellshrine Ruins right now. In the game. Checking some stuff. No. Probably a couple. Probably a couple right now, yeah. Alright. Let's actually read through all this. There is a lot to read. Adapt or die. Jesus Christ. Okay, now that's toxic. Holy Christ. By the way, should I move myself to the left? That's fine. The Sanctum's rooms hold many secrets. Some contain ancient fountains you can rest at to restore a portion of your resolve. Others will curse you with the affliction, hindering your progress. These afflictions stack up as you explore deeper and deeper within the Sanctum. You can also receive boons or blessings that help you overcome the Sanctum's dangers. Each time you enter the Sanctum, you will encounter a unique layout that you must assess and adapt as you explore. Okay, so there's the stairs, that is the shore. So this is probably where you come in, and then one of these rooms opens up. By the way, can I just point out how this is very similar to how I explained it? Okay, no, it's actually not. But it's a different way, right? I still thought of, like, you choose the rooms and the rooms change. So I was pretty damn close, you gotta say. I was 40% there. I was 40% there. You gotta give me that. Right? Anyhow. Lose 30 Aurus coins on room completion. There's a door there! Dude, they're taxing me in the game now. This is garbage. I'm kidding, but it's a meme, it's a joke. I'll give you it a guess. I'll give you that. What? Yeah, I was 40% there, right? With the rooms and everything. But like Hades. Oh, I'm sure they played a ton of roguelikes. I'm pretty sure there's a nice overlap between Path of Exile players loving getting destroyed and, you know, roguelike. 1000%. Her name is Divinia. God damn it. Maybe I should read the goddamn screenshots before I'm like, yo, this is definitely her, guys. I know. Suck ass. Alright, so her name is Divinia. But we can just also appreciate again the look of it. Look how how beautiful this looks. This is beautiful. Look at this. Look at the walls, the statue, the gold, the lighting and everything. It's beautiful. Amazing. Also, anything Vampire Survivors League. That's called Delirium. Actually, technically it was Ultimatum, let's be honest. Wait, Ultimatum? Wait. Did they do Vampire Survivors before Vampire Survivors? No, I don't think so. No. So yeah, I guess her name is Divinia now. The Moon Gold Magnet. Nice. Divinia's gift. Your next purchase from the merchant has no cost. Oh, so she is the merchant. But why is she interested in those coins? That makes no sense. I guess those coins are really valuable for Templars, maybe? Because it made sense in Expedition, right? Those are our relics. But you kill the mobs for us, so we will trade you something to get the relics we want. But those are just coins. Now, then we get rid of them at 24 because they will already be at... What are you talking about, Hanif? Alright, pay the price. Inside the sanctum you will find gold coins called... Actually, I don't know how to say that word. Oiris? Oh, I'm so sorry. You will get gold coins. Perfect. A currency that the Templar used for commerce. It's stored in treasure chests and falls from slain monsters. Although these coins belong to the Sanctum and will not leave with you, they can be traded with a merchant who you may encounter from time to time. Spend your gold coins wisely, as it can be used to purchase a crucial boon when the time is right. Interesting. Aureus. That's how I think it should be pronounced. I'm pretty sure Chris mentioned it. Bet your life. The sinister powers controlling the Sanctum will occasionally present you with an accursed pact. These pacts offer you a powerful benefit with a dangerous cost. Although the pact will tempt you greatly, you must choose with care. The result of your choice could signal the end of your time in the Sanctum or be the turning point in your success. Ooh, they had some nice... I feel like the lighting is a little bit harsh here, but I think they made this on purpose, like the lighting being this harsh, by just giving the player probably like 10,000 life. Let's be honest. Right, just go into the editor and be like, character has 10,000 life, lol, okay, next. Right, to have more light radius, maybe. That's probably how they do it. Remove tight choker. Kinky? Okay. Mushroom resolve. Also can't state how you're not losing XP is so generous. I'm super happy with how they solved the issue. Because the moment I saw you die, like you like their approach to a rook-like, and them being like, yeah, you know, you die, so you gotta retry multiple times. I'm like, guys, how the fuck does this work with hardcore characters? Please, please. They've thought of this, of course, right? I'm super happy. Gain Divinia's gift, lose 25% maximum. Dude, I'm so interested in this, right? This seems so much more fun than Lake of Kalandra. Not saying Lake of Kalandra is bad, as a league, but this seems like, this seems pretty juicy. Also, keep in mind, like I said, I dislike UI in my map. This is not UI in my map. It's already getting a bonus, right? It's poggers, dude. It's poggies. It's goddamn awesome. By the way, can we just talk about the portal effect? It's pretty sick. Alright, cool. Reap or weep? Ah, I get it. Nice one. Many rooms in the Sanctum will offer you a choice of currency items. You can take the reward now or leave it behind, with the promise of an even larger reward later. Deferring your reward to the end of the current floor or even the end of the entire Sanctum escalates it with great risk. If you run out of resolve before reaching this goal, you lose everything you gambled. Do you believe in yourself enough to take the risk and potentially reap a massive reward, or do you play it safe and leave with what you have? This hurts so much. What? Yeah, it's gonna be quite interesting. I will very likely, depending on my character, go for at least the first floor. You know, like you go through the first floor, you defeat the boss, and then you yeet yourself out. And that's it. Right? So you risk to the next big boss. I would probably, like the safest ways probably, if you have a good character, risk it to the next boss. I think that's pretty good. Right? It also makes the boss then, it feels more rewarding when you then get a big drop of loot at the end, right? It makes it feel good. It's like, nice, cool. That's why I played 8 maps. Yes, 8. So it's 8 maps for 1 floor, right? I'm pretty sure. Yes. Uncover Templar relics. As you explore the Sanctum, you will discover a special altar the Templar relics can be placed on. These relics make you more powerful in the Sanctum and persist from run to run. Their continued power is the key to making it deeper into the Sanctum's vaults each time you enter. As you accumulate more relics, you will need to make decisions around which ones most benefit you and arrange the altar accordingly. You may also uncover Sanctified relics, a very rare type that directly affects your character's build. You may use only one of these, but its benefits stay with you beyond the Sanctum walls and bestow the Templar's power on you as you journey through Rayclast. Alright, so you can only have one. Yeah, it's pretty much a charm system or rune system. I don't know what it's called. Is it charms, runes? I don't know what it's called in D2. Yeah, that was pretty much my reaction. A little bit like it, but less annoying. Chests have 6% chance to drop double aura coins. Okay. Yes. These are the sanctified relics. Yeah. Critical strike multiplier for attack. Increased effect of non-curse auras from your skills. This is gonna be that's gonna be the holy fuck, dude. Some sanctified relics. Dude, you know what this could be? I don't know they will. I don't think it will. Because that would actually brick the game. Like if they introduce these modifiers. But if one of these sanctified relics... Yeah, that's what he said. So, you will have one. And every character has that buff. So technically, the one thing we saw had fire resistance and freaking onslaught. Onslaught. Okay? So technically you could have Onslaught with every character in the future, making leveling easier. Sadly, you can only have one. But yeah, it's gonna be... I don't even know where... Place this item on the relic altar. Oh, so you also place these items on here, but therefore you have less room for the Sanctum being less valuable, potentially. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, you know. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Defeat the Sanctum's Guardians. The Forbidden Sanctum is home to many bosses, including random mini-boss encounters. Bosses at the end of each floor and an ultimate showdown against the entity that controls the Sanctum. These fights yield valuable rewards, including relics, piles of Aureus coins, gold coins, masses of experience, new unique items, and more. Yeah, it's a very sick model. Very nice. Actually, the trailer showed them off really well. Also, there were 2. Explore the Atlas endgame. We have improved the Atlas passive tree so that players don't need to respec between mapping and boss killing and can invest even further into content that they enjoy. We have added 2 new Atlas memories themed around domination and bestiary, which include 9 new beast crafting recipes. We have also rebalanced Eldritch Altars and have made Maven Witnessed map bosses a source of awakened gems. Also, Fracturing Orb. Fracture a random modifier on a rare item with at least 4 modifiers, locking it in place. This can't be used on influenced, synthesized, or fractured items. Pretty cool. So, by the way, sorry, you can't really probably read this. There you go. Yeah, very, very cool. Harbingers back on the menu, boys. Our budget is weak because only 1 fracture. But low end is still good. High budget. Yeah, I mean, you do it at the beginning, right? Like, literally, if I hit a very rare T1 modifier... Actually, you know what you could do? We'll see how rare those are, right? But technically, if you... I mean, I hate the whole aspect of picking rares up, identifying them, and looking through the modifiers. I will be 60 years old to look at every rare item that drops in one league. Okay, anyways. But if I, for some reason, pick something up or craft something accidentally myself with an alchemy orb, and I have a fracturing orb, and they aren't too rare and don't cost like 40 C or some crazy stuff, I could lock the one... I could try to lock in the 1 tier 1 modifier that is really good. You know what I mean? Like, I just hit T1 Chaos Raz. On pretty much any item is good, right? I want to lock that sucker in right now. Right? You can only, I think, fracture 1 mod, right? You can't repeat this multiple times, right? But if I hit T1 Chaos Raz on an Astral Plate that is eye level 80 or above, for whatever reason, I'm gonna lock that sucker in. Even if it's just slap an Essence mod on it, risk maybe 1 or 2 annulments, go back to 4 modifiers, pray you still have the T1 modifier that you had, fracture it. That's it. You got a perfect start to start crafting the next T1 modifier you want. Or just slap on another Essence mod, right? Just slap another one on it. It's crazy. You can pretty much force T1 modifiers with this orb real easily. Or at least T1 Essence modifier, right? T1 Life. Just slap T1 Life on it, fracture it, and pray to God. Awesome. Sweet, you hit it. Now you have T1 or the highest Essence Life modifier that's possible on a chest. Perfect. Now grab the Essence that gives you Chaos Raz. Boom. Psst. That's probably also what you want to do, right? You want to probably either have a prefix and or a suffix. So you want to probably lock a prefix and then craft the suffix you want, or the other way around. That's me, who has no idea about crafting. You used to, but no longer with Fracture Orb. I think they should still end up being quite valuable. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. Pretty sure they will. Memories. I got some memories and I sold them. Literally just running maps right now. Have you seen the Divine Orb that I just got today? Frozen Legion. So that's a spell called attack AoE melee. How the fuck do you scale? This spell consumes multiple cooldown uses to summon icy statues in a ring. How can you automate this? And is there any unique that gives you a cooldown recovery? Like it gives you a charge. Holy fuck. It's just to cast on crit. It has a custom of 0.70 and a cooldown of 0.8. Oh no, you can't. I mean, if it's gonna be super interesting. Because depending on the weapon you use, it's using your weapon. And if you have very high cooldown recovery, it doesn't matter if it shoots one time out. You know why? Because it's just gonna attack the enemy next to you. And it has big AoE. Ooh, dude, cast a crit with Cyclone. Okay. Okay. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe there might be some fun stuff with that. Very cool. Also, that looks pretty sick. I love that skill. Unsure how it works and how much I like it. Why is there an 8? Why is there an 8? Hello? I got questions. Discover new unique items. There are over 15 new unique items to be found from within the Forbidden Sanctum and throughout Rayclast and the Atlas. We've also massively increased the power and rarity of 10 existing endgame unique weapons to bring them in line with some of Path of Exile's most iconic unique items. And then of course we have the new one that we can get. Progenesis. Soul Taker, and of course Starforge, getting pretty big numbers. Numbers getting bigger. Like, say goodbye to Arch. Really, they put this as an extra thing. Nice. Say goodbye to Arch Nemesis. Our Arch Nemesis Monsters mod system has been replaced with a system that more closely resembles Path of Exile's initial monster mods, but with modernized balance and effects. The system has been streamlined so that each modifier only does one specific thing and describes exactly what it does. While you will still encounter modifier combinations that get your heart racing, these will be rarer than before and easier to understand in the heat of combat. Changes to rare monster rewards mean that you don't need to summon a magic find culling character to help you with specific monster mods anymore. They really go on that. Holy Christ. Yeah, I guess they had to be very clear on that. I guess. Sure. I personally don't care about that stuff. You know? My magic color, dude, is like, bruh. Bruh, you know how many divines I made just blasting, corrupting Fever maps with Legion? Just disgusting. And most of the money didn't even came from the I think I even got like only 1 or 2 divines from like, you know, these god-touched enemies, you know. The rest was just, you know, doing mapping and killing lots of monsters. Lol, I know, what a shocker in an ARPG. So we got new balances, I guess, right with the new jewels. The new jewels are gonna be quite interesting. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So a really big jewel would be probably reduced duration or, you know, a void. Probably a void. Would you want more reduced or a void? I mean, if I can get full avoidance on something, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Like, dude, full avoidance on bleed. Oh! Yes, please. Be ruthless. So, of course, we got that. Oh, there's extra pathofexile.com/ruthless? Oh, that's just announcing it. Okay, so it just redirects to a new post. Oh, but that just came out. That was today at 8:46 p.m. Wait, 8:46. Oh, that was 46 minutes into the stream. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Unlock Kirok's Vault, so it's gonna be interesting how that will be. What new cool stuff they will have. And a supporter pack. Very cool. Also, by the way, if I already have, I gotta download that, of course. Let me check that. I'm gonna need my press kit, because I'm a YouTuber, guys. I'm a YouTuber. I need my press kit, please. Oh god, they put a folder into the folder, I swear to god. The classic, boys. Alright, so we got the... Let's go full screen on that, shall we? There we go. So we got the first background. Then we got... Interesting, so a very close-up. Extreme close-up. You actually see some stuff written on here. I don't know if you can see it on stream, because of the bit depth and bit rate. Interesting. That's an interesting armor there. Huh. Is she some sort of like mix between like a warrior mage or something like this, right? Because why would she wear this as a typical mage? I mean, technically that doesn't really matter, but interesting. Also, by the way, I'm 90% sure that's a PNG button, so, and transparent. It's gonna be in the thumbnail, boys. Very likely. Actually, I don't know if I want to put her in the thumbnail, because she wasn't a big part of the trailer, because they want us to explore the lore. God damn it. The YouTuber brain is already turning. Alright, so we got a little bit of an overview of what the maps will be. I'm sure some 5-head people will probably figure out how that is. Unless this is the current map thingy. That might be actually the current atlas. Maybe they don't show us the new one. It's actually funny how these pictures don't have the same resolution. Also, it's interesting how clearly 2 people made these pictures. You know why? Because if you look closely, this has half the color bit depth, whatever it's called. Like, you actually need to go on your monitor and say full in the NVIDIA settings if you have them. You need to say the monitor and then full. And then you actually have like a proper black color. Otherwise you have this grayish kind of... either way. Yeah, actually re-rolling Awakened support gems and freaking... What was it? Re-rolling Watcher's Eyes is just... What the fuck? It's kind of crazy. I mean, they really want to keep Einhar in the game, right? And Bestiary. So, it's kind of good, I guess, right? Gotta keep it up to date, gotta keep it interesting. And that makes memories incredibly valuable, right? Like, that is incredible value. You know, harvest beasts. Like, it's just... That Einhar map is gonna be insanely valuable. Holy Christ. Good lord. Oh, dude, wait a second. Wait, hold on. In the memory, do the Atlas passive thingies work? They don't, right? Because if they do, you could get the Einhar Atlas passive that allows you to catch red beasts twice. That would be pretty cool. If you want to play Bestiary, that is. That's that. Then we got that. The background. Then we got the logo. Then we got the little Arch Nemesis preview, of course. With endurance charge when hit. And lightning and shock resistant. Then we have extra crits. So yeah, just going back, that's the Frozen Legion spell attack. It's gonna be very interesting. And Tropic Devastation. That's a spell. Yeah, critical strikes with spells inflict impale is kind of crazy. It's kind of interesting what happens there. But I'm too small brain. Ooh, interesting. So that's actually the preview picture with the background, right? That we saw before on Twitter. And with her before. There you go. That is the picture. That's the picture we saw. Like I said, this will... Like, the moment I saw it on Twitter, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be the press kit. Yeah, of course it will. That's what the press kit is for. They themselves use it. Then we got some previews of boons. Gain 200 inspiration. Oh yeah, inspiration is gonna be some sort of like energy shield. Or like barrier to your resolve, right? Interesting. A cursed pack. Change your fate. Is that the same room? We're not. Oh, and you get your little, as you can see on the bottom here, you can see a little bit of a like preview of the probably the boons and things you have. Probably can hover over them. That's nice. Very minimalistic. I like it. No, it doesn't. It's not like a massive thing that is constantly in your face. I like it. Ooh, actually, look at the... Wait, what the flying heck is that MTX? Look at this. That looks sick. Is that a preview to maybe Kirek's Vault? Could be, maybe. It looks sick. Look at that sword! Look at that sword! Heck yeah. Looks good. I like it. But yeah, patch notes is up. Yeah, dude, but patch notes, my dude. Yes, dude. You want me to read through that? Dude, I gotta go to the toilet and piss. No, I might hold it back a little bit longer. Actually, would like to read a little bit more. But gain a random modifier. Da da da. Is it just me, or do the chests not usually have white text? Interesting. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just popped a bit, and I was like, that looks different. Maybe I'm blind. I also like the animation of the gold coins. You know what? Actually, now that I thought of it, you saw the animation of the coins jump out and disappearing. You know what I think? You know what I think they had in mind when doing this? It's actually what Noogie said to them, you know, in Expedition back in it. By the way, it was a year ago. Where he said, could you not make the loot just take longer to animate and make it more exciting? I think they literally did this now with this. Because it takes longer, right? It's like whoosh. It takes longer, so you can't just instantly, like... I mean, it still takes... It doesn't take so long, right? But the animation is fancier, and it's auto pickup. That's great. Right? It still looks good. It takes a little bit longer than just, you know... It just being boop on the ground and you can instantly click it. It's just... I mean, it's also auto pickup. Oh, whatever. But I think they kind of remembered this maybe when making that. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway. Yeah, auto pickup is great. But I think everyone would have... yeah, you know. Everyone would have shouted again and be like, GGG, we told you. We told you that. What does that mean? We told you, old man. Is that from SpongeBob? Not saying they're old, I'm just saying. Davinia, Tommy, Mommy. Sorry. Oh no, is this gonna be my thumbnail? No. I can't. If she would be a massive aspect in a trailer, I would definitely do it. I can't put her be like, I don't know, and make some sort of rage emo. Take my loot, my queen. So cringy. Take my coins, please have my money. That's actually so good. You give her your money, right? Oh god, please, queen, have my coins. Give me something good. She's into necrophilia. No, I don't think so. That actually would be quite interesting. Why are there so many bones? Now that would be an interesting story, right? Why? Like, there's so many questions. Why are the Fellshrine ruins? What are they about? Why are they open now? Why are there so many dead corpses and everything? Or just bones. Like, so many questions. I'm scared of her. Dude, the moment she's gonna talk about a character called Licia, is this gonna be like the whole synthesis thingy again? No, I'm not Venarius. Or I've this Venarius dude. We have been tricked before. Also, do you remember Harvest? Oh yeah, let me help you, funny neon lady that lives in a garden. Seems fine. She's definitely sane. Also, that was a literal massive teaser in the trailer if you look at Harvest. Because she's talking about becoming powerful or something, and I'm like, oh yeah. In hindsight, you know, hindsight is 2020. That's a massive red flag. Anyway, they're the Guardians. Also, can we just talk about the massive green sword that guy's holding? It looks pretty good. Again, Golem's armor looks so good. It looks so good. God, I could bang those. Wait, what? Nothing. The sheet, you... No. The sheet, your sheets. Okay. Gotta stop. Can we just talk about the texture on the floor on the top right? Wait, sorry, you can't see. Look at the texture. I'm pretty sure it doesn't come across that much, but fuck me, that looks clean. God damn. Like if you zoom out, right? Like normally, God, it looks good. God damn. I'm scared. Actually, interesting fire effect here. Hello. What is... Or blood effect? I'm looking at the background. Okay, interesting. Maximum resolve. That's probably another boss. That's probably another boss. Or maybe some sort of like trap system, right? One thing I'm a little bit worried about, and I know, like, let's be honest, this is just, alright, this was all positive, now let's go into the next. I really hope that they didn't overdo it with many other changes and took time to make a variety of areas, right? Because if it's a roguelike, and it has rooms, if those rooms don't feel different enough every time, and or there isn't a big variety in rooms, it gets very, very, very boring very quickly, right? Because if there aren't, I don't know how many rooms you would need, but I would probably say 32 as a minimum, right? That's a shitload of work. And I don't think they did 32 different rooms. I don't know. Or maybe they did combinations of stuff and, you know, let the level generation figure it out or something. But like for example, you go through 32 rooms and you see the same room 3 times. You would feel a little bit weird, right? I mean, on the other side, they probably don't expect to have people... one thing I did think... psychology is definitely a part of it. First of all, I think a lot of people won't go through 32 rooms at all. Like, they can't do it. So it doesn't... It's not as obvious, probably. First of all. Second of all, because you constantly have a map in between the next sanctum room, you might not be too aware of it, right? Like, after 9 more maps and 9 more different Sanctum rooms, you won't fucking know what the first one was, right? Probably. So, I think that is definitely a big positive there of maybe not having enough rooms. Anyways, we don't know the amount of rooms. They won't tell us, and I'm also... please do not tell us. Yeah. Dude, look at the stone. Look at the texture. God damn it. I could eat that texture. Daddy, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm eating. Your mom got him, boys. Let's go! Alright, that's an interesting fire effect. That's a new one. That looks different than from Cirrus. Hello, look at the bottom left. What is that effect? What is that effect on the bottom left? What the heck is that? A row? Oh, damn. You know what's actually super sick though, and really smart from their side? Because they took the Fellshrine ruins, they already had a theme, right? That is super smart on their part, because you don't have to figure out the enemies that might be in it, or not a lot of them. You might not need to figure out, okay, they can probably just take already existing assets, remake them, or maybe some, you know, make them better, maybe some AI upscaling, and use that, which saves them a lot of time. And at the end of the day, they might be able to reuse all these remade assets in the actual Fellshrine ruins in PoE1. Not that people go there usually, I think, but still, you don't want... And maybe in other aspects, because I'm pretty sure you go in there in Act 7, so technically you will definitely see the Fellshrine ruins with every character you go through, right? So, might not remake the visuals and then reuse them in the game again. Would make sense. That will be very interesting the moment I go into Fellshrine ruins. If it's updated. It's difficult to know. You would have to go to Fellshrine ruins right now and record a video and take pictures. Then compare them. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But you know. By the way, a new boss has a little bit of an abyss theme. Yeah, I'm actually really interested in. Like, look, like those are. This is a sanctum underneath the ruins. What is this? Some sort of like hidden thing beneath the ruins? Is like, look at this room. Where the fuck do you hide this underneath the ruins? Like, there must be some big lore reason why this exists. Like, look at all the gold everywhere, right? Like, who was here? And why? Can you be tempted? The offer. Alright, I think, hey, oh, that's where it is. Look at this. Actually, you don't put it in the middle, sorry. You don't put it in the middle, you put it right here. Nice. Okay, so it's an extra slot. Can you have 2 slots? Poggers! Okay. Nice. I'm not sure what that button is for. Contains treasure reward. Afflicts you with unquenched thirst. Yup. Afflicts you with floor tax. Contains Xenatha, the Dark Reaper. Oh, could this be some a little bit of a like Val lore as well? Xenathar sounds like, you know, like the Val related name, right? Oh look, that is the symbol for the Candle Beast. I think there are at least 4 different end room symbols. I'm pretty sure I can imagine 4 different bosses and maybe a final boss. Or, yeah, probably something like this. So you have a little bit of a variety, maybe. And then, of course, the new things. And then, of course, a couple other things. And there we go. All right. Big. Very big. Now, back to main site. News. News. Hello? I clicked news and nothing's happening. Find out more. Trailer, content reveal, announcement, patch notes. Yes, please. Oh, wait, 1 second. I would actually like to check out the Forge. Okay, so wait a second. I'm very interested. I mean, I love this. I love this. Like, just 6 linking. Like, that's sick. That's just funny. That's just funny seeing some guy just 6 linking his stuff. That's gonna be very interested with my auto clicker. I mean, with my very fast hands.
Bruh.
Anyhow, Forge Master, and then you have the Gemling series. I don't really care about the $30 one. That is very cool, right? The fist bump, you know, when you trade with someone, I really like that. And of course, the whole... Oh, you actually get the armor pack as well? Or is the armor pack the effect? No, it's the Prosperous Ring that gives you this effect, right? No, the Prosperous Ring is you dropping money on the ground thing. No, the ring is that. That is, I think, the ring. Yeah, you see actually the ring effect here. Yeah. And this is the armor pack. That is so good. And the $90 one is Parandus, which I don't really care too much about. But the goddamn slime, dude. God, I love the slime. It looks so good. I could eat that slime. Daniel, don't. Too late. I'm already eating it. The slime's so anime. Anime! Ooh. Yes. Everyone, play the clip of Chris Wilson saying anime. Yes. Yeah, I'm actually, you know, can we next time, you know, Siggy D should really ask Chris what his favorite anime. Just gonna make an anime podcast with Chris. So what's your favorite anime this season? Yo, dude, it's just... You know that one anime with the loli with massive titties? Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's my favorite one. Yeah, same, bro. Alright. I can't. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know what it's called. It's not... Is it something with teasing? I don't know. So when anime leak, dude, every leak from now on is anime leak because you got Val Flicker Strike. They bring out Val Flicker Strike 1 leak after I tried Val Flicker again. I'm not gonna play Flicker Strike for like a solid 2 years probably now. I'm like, nah. Nah. Oh yeah, that's actually really cool. The Collector Serpent Shield, I think is it, right? Which is just sucks things in. That is a cool effect. For $30, that's kind of worth. Also, I like the dog. Actually, that's for $30. I might actually grab this for $30 if I wanted to. I will check my money, how much I have for like fun-related things. I might get that. And yeah. Oh, actually, the chest is also really good. God damn, is the chest sick. And this, we'll see how much money I have. Lies. What? No. Alright, boys. Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably... Alright, let me just do this real quick. Have you posted a trailer? No, you didn't. There we go. The forbidden thing, and that, and do I post it here as well? No, it doesn't really matter. Just look at where I post my stuff. I'm gonna post it in Kid Bogus stream as well. Stream server. Because he also has a gaming. Perfect. Alright, back to being a streamer. Winky face. You know. Thanks, Anif. Love you too. Very cute. gem armor is so nice. Yeah, the gem armor is so good. It actually makes so much sense having such an MTX, right? Because it's about gems in this game. New 3-month challenge league. Get destroyed in the Forbidden Sanctum. Okay, we can skip over that. New content and features. Added a new optional game mode, Ruthless. Added a new Strength Intelligence skill gem, it's Frozen Legion. New Strength skill, Volcanic Fissure. New Intelligence support gem, Cursed Ground. Or Cursed. Wait, is it Cursed Ground or Cursed? I think it's Cursed. Cursed. Added new Intelligence, Hex Bloom, Val skill gems, which is actually really cool. Val Venom Gyre. Val Caustic Arrow, boys. You saw the damage I did. If Val Caustic Arrow has some sort of crazy multiplier on damage, Death Souls, boys. For the potential. Or you know what? Just use. Don't want to play Caustic Arrow as a main character? As a main skill? And have 2 Caustic Arrow setups, like a 4-link and a 6-link for single target? I'm thinking right now, can I increase the damage past what I had before? I'll have to look at Caustic Arrow. If you can get to like a couple million DPS per second. Anyway, introducing Fracturing Orb, Fracturing Shards. Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's the thing I didn't read. Introduced Fracturing Shards, which cannot be used in their shard form, but automatically transform into... Oh, it's just Fracturing... Okay, got it. Makes sense. Okay, right. There's Fracturing Orb and Fracturing Shards. Added 15 new unique items, including one designed by support. Wait, only one is designed by support? I thought there were multiples. What? Is that correct? I feel like there were more. Added 10 new divination cards, 5 of which were designed by our supporters, with 5 designed by winners of boss kill events. Added 2 new Atlas memories. The Kalandar's Touch unique ring has been added to the core drop pool. Awesome. That's kind of cool. That's the thing I didn't hear. Kalandar's Touch unique ring. That's cool. That's nice. Grand and exceptional Eldritch Echoes have received new art, so they are now more distinguishable. Okay. Continued to incrementally improve the sound, art, effects, and environments. Which I always love going through the game again and seeing these changes. And there are so many changes. Every single league. There are changes of sound, art, effects, environments. So many. Maven witnessed map bosses now have a chance. Yep, we know about this. The falling maps have been added back to the Atlas. Ooh, that's interesting. Academy, Bazaar, Burial Chambers, Cage Channel, City Square, Courthouse, Courtyard, Coves, Estuary, Forbidden Woods, Graveyard, Haunted Mansion, Iceberg, Infested Valley, Ivory Temple, Lookout, Mineral Pools, Primordial Blocks, Sepulture, Shipyard, Spider Lair, Sunken City, Toxic Sewer, and Volcano. The following maps have been removed from the Atlas. Arena, Arid Lake, Armory, Barrows, Belfry, Bramble Valley, Cells, Chateau, Dig, Excavation, Fungal Hollow, Jungle Valley, Lava Chamber, Marshes, Mud Geyser, Park, Pen, Racecourse, Ramparts, Stagnation, Summit, Vault, Waste Pool, Waterways, and Wharf. Okay, I think really fun, of course, Toxic Sewer, Waterways. Sorry, not Toxic Sewer and Waste Pool. Very similar maps. I think I like Toxic Sewer more because the boss doesn't like spawn. It's just right there, so you can just you know, do a drive-by kill if you wanted to. Just kill it. Anyway, so you don't need Toxic Sewer and waste pull. Like, why would you? Burial chambers being back, you know, for the headhunter farmers. I personally don't really like that map. It's a bit like, I don't know, just I don't know. I like it. Channel makes sense because they get rid of waterways, so channel comes back, right? It's pretty much the same or very similar with a different boss. Haunted Mansion. I really like Haunted Mansion. I don't know why. It just feels good. I don't know. It looks good. I don't know. I don't know what else was good. I feel like the patch don't need picture for div cards. Picture for div cards? Yeah, I guess they're just patch notes, so I guess no picture, right? The written heavy version, I guess, right? For people that like reading. Or you know what you could do? You could just probably download an add-on that reads it for you. Easy. Yeah. And just sit back and be like, oh yes, read me the patch notes. Good job, computer. Can't you do it actually this way? Oh. But I have you though. I'm not gonna read all of it. Hell no. Some of the map bosses you are required. Wait, how far does this go down? Holy fuck! Dude, we gotta be here for 2 hours, bro. Jesus. You finished reading it? Jesus Christ, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not a fast reader, so. The following blah, 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 map tiers and locations have been shuffled. Makes sense. Some of the map bosses you're required to defeat, you upgrade. Makes sense. Crafting recipes that were previously unlocked. Okay, cool. Some divination cards have found new homes as a result of these atlas changes. Bisho cannot be... Oh! They actually tell us where you can find these things now. Siggy mentioned this before with like, hey guys, can you maybe update us where stuff can be found when you swap them? Sweet. Awesome. The nurse can be found in the carcass map now. Stonks. Everyone. We need a clip of Chris Wilson saying stonks right now. We need it. Isn't Gift of the Gemling Queen also pretty good? That's nice. The Achilles Prophecy Divination has been re-enabled and now awards a double corrupted, unique, elegant round shield. This card can now be found in the Temple of Azul. A Transformation Divination card has been re-enabled and now awards a Tainted Mythic Orb. The A-Note in the Wind Divination card has been re-enabled and now awards Asenath's Mark. The Mad King Divination card has been re-enabled and now awards an Ultimatum Aspect. This card can now be found in the Caldera, Colosseum, Dark Forest, and Reef Nets. But the gloves, I think, yeah. It's not a weird gloves. I think it's also for Tensi. Problem! Our Nemesis monster mods. Wait, they actually go with the whole problem solution thing here right now? God damn. The poor person who had to write all this. Good lord. Each added a number of stats. Okay, we already got through the monster mods and Arch Nemesis. I don't think we need to go through this. Eldritch Altars, they already changed this, right? We've lightly nerfed the total rewards and updated them in various other ways that we will outline below. While it is fair to say that you can no longer min-max into rewards in such an extreme way, they will still be quite rewarding. Of course, you know, we get a shit load of loot, so it's fine if it's a little bit less. For SSF players, might be a little bit annoying, but, you know. We're making a few numerical changes to alter rewards so that choices that affect boss drops or influence monster drops are more comparably now, right? So if you have a bosser, maybe focusing on boss might be quite valuable. The Wrath of the Cosmos keystone got updated. We'll see how I change things up. I really just look into the stuff when I'm in the game, right? Before I'm like, you know how when I'm gonna be at the Wrath of the Cosmos if I give a fuck about it? Probably the 15th map that I finished. which is halfway through the Atlas for me or something like this. No, it's actually more. It's less. Anyhow, it's gonna be, because I'm actually gonna work out on Saturday next week. So yes, sadly, I know. So stream will be happening in a weird way. I'm actually going bouldering with Marcus or Ifint. So I'm gonna be there in not even Monday is my guess, right? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Can't wait for the new Atlas tree. Personally, don't really care about Atlas. Yeah. No, Atlas tree got changed. Full Atlas passive tree will be revealed before the launch of 3.20, so that's nice. So we will know this beforehand. I mean, altars. You don't care about the altars? Yeah. It's nice to have once in a while, but because they're so random, it's nothing I always pray that I get. I'm just like, yeah, if I get something good, I get something good, and usually I get fucked over anyways, because they're super difficult, right? They add a pretty strong difficulty to the area, depending on what you choose. Alright, that was very important. Chance to avoid being frozen, up to 50% voice. My stomach is making a sound, so soon food. Avoid being bleeding, poisoned, shocked, and ignited, so all up to 50%. That means you can actually have 2 of those, and you are set, boys. You are set for life. Good. Solution. Every unique jewel that drops is very rare and highly desirable. This means that many existing unique jewels have been removed from the drop pool. Oh yeah, also they changed unique jewels. I forgot about that, so we'll see how stuff goes, right? If I drop a unique jewel, I will definitely take a look a couple times until I kind of know what something is, if something has value or not. We'll check this out as it goes along. Unique jewels. Oh, interesting. Specifics. Added Eternal Labyrinth Helmet enchantments for Spark and Ethereal Knives that cause projectiles to fly in a circle. The Spark Projectile Speed Helmet enchantments and the Ethereal Knives Pierce Helmet enchantment have been removed. Very good. So previously, those jewels that were, by the way, they aren't in the game anymore, are now enchantments. That's good. Spark Projectile sucks, though. That sucks. Yeah. That's definitely a little bit of nerf from them. But let's be honest, I never used enchantments anyway, so who cares? Because that's the very last thing I will give a fuck about. Spark pretty OP, dude. Remember when I did a Spark character this league? I don't. Exactly. There was a reason why. Yeah, that didn't feel too good. Hex builds, specifics, Actually, I really want to eat food, so I kind of want to go quickly. Also, I want to go to bed at a reasonable time, sleep, and then, wake up and edit the video, because I gotta make YouTube videos. Did you know that? Okay, cool. Sorry. I gotta calm down. I'm zen. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, we got some stuff. Timeless jewels. Wait, what? They nerfed timeless jewels. Dude, I am so mad right now because I totally used them this entire league. Game is ruined. I really don't give a... Anyways, again, no ideas. Yeah, me neither. The good imbalance of enfeeble and temporal chains, fun. As long as they aren't on me, it's all good. That's, when I like temporal chains, when it's not on me. That's the TLDR there. Many of Path of Exile most iconic unique tech-based weapons have fallen out of use over the years. This is mainly because the tech-based builds prioritize high base weapon damage over all else, and unique weapons are currently not able to compete with rare weapons in this regard. While a fundamental aspect of Path of Exile's itemization is that unique items will be outclassed by rares, in the cases of these iconic weapons, they get outclassed before they even can be reasonably acquired. That's a good point, right? Because most of these uniques are like, whoa, I got this unique from this super difficult boss. I killed this boss with a better weapon. Cool, bro. Right? Makes no sense. So yeah. Shaper, yes. That's the one I thought of, yeah. Or even at series disfavor unique X no longer has +2 level seconded support gems. Existing version of this unique are unaffected. It now adds 300 physical damage, probably 220. Okay, and +10 weapon range. Holy fuck, dude. Jesus. Spec still not doing Cyclone. But you know, Cyclone sounds pretty juicy right now. You get the taste of Legion Cyclone. You know, you remember Legion? You know, Legion League and Cyclone? Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh, Bino's Kitchen Knife. I actually grabbed a couple of these. No longer has 30% increased damage over that. It now has a ton more physical damage. Existing versions. Okay, so it's just... Wait, what? Then why is the Bino's Kitchen Knife 4? Okay. Bloodseeker Unique Claw. I have no idea what that is. Divinaria's Unique... I have no idea. Essentia Sanguis Unique Claw. I have no idea what you are. Kingmaker Unique Axe. It has more damage. Got it. Hell yeah, Ketcham, Manif, Powders. They need another Bino Poison. They need another channeling move with you can move while channeling. I think they're very careful adding these. Because they want the risk reward kind of thing, right? Because like if you stand still, you stand still. Like that's your choice. So. You mean Bino and using poison? I guess, yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Versus Cyclone is the only one, though. I think, yeah. No, actually... No, Flicker Strike. Oh, wait, no, it's not... I mean, yes, channeling and moving at the same time. No, there was one more. I remember reading the list, though. There was one more. Because I was looking at a list of skills that allow me to move while also dealing damage. Like I looked at the list or was very just reviewing it because I was searching for a skill that I just am interested in, and I think that was 2 leagues ago with, or 3 leagues ago with Flicker Strike. Was not good. Should have not done that one. Nope. I should not. Anyhow, mitigating monster life regeneration. Mitigate monster life regeneration that are able to access to increase life regeneration. The upgraded Soul of Rislatha Pantheon now provides enemies you've hit recently have reduced life regeneration rate. That's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. But yeah, that Void Forge buff. I don't know. I'm not gonna read all this because I don't know. I'm just not a melee kind of guy. But yeah, 700%. Just yeah, pretty crazy. Strike skills and additional enemies. Oh no. Most strike melee skills are currently reliant on ways to strike extra targets and or deal splash damage in order to compete with other builds when clearing groups of enemies. Add melee splash access to the passive skill tree and move the single additional strike there to the attack mastery instead of a specific node. The fuck? That's huge! Add melee splash access to the passive skill tree. What the fuck? Holy Christ. So the bottom left additional strike is now everywhere. Okay. Yeah. 2 small passive skills in the Trouble Fury cluster which provide increased melee damage and 15 have been removed. So what are they now? And a new attack mastery that provides strike skills, target 1 additional and nearby enemy, which replaces the strike skills, target additional enemies can do so from 30% further away. Yeah, the 30% further away was garbage. Perfect, yes, get rid of that. Yeah, that's true. That actually adds a lot of damage. Because you just got a link, boys. Wait, you can have melee splash and strike skills. I mean, technically you were able to have this before, but you can have now both. Fairly easy, potentially. And another 6-link. Probably ruthless, let's be honest. What else? Pretty huge. Huge, you know. H-Y-U-G-E. Huge. Okay, Pies Path. No idea what you are. Spectral Helix and Lightning Conduit. Both Spectral Helix and Lightning Conduit are currently too strong at all stages of the game relative to other similar skills. We have lowered the damage of these 2 skills to bring them more in line with others. Spectral Helix now has 100% effectiveness of added damage. Previously 160, up to 150% at gem level 20, previously 200. Holy fuck, they killed Spectral Helix. Okay, no. That didn't kill it, but like, that's a significant, like, get the fuck down, bitch. Which is fair. It was like a no-brain option. Like, it was stupid. It truly, like they said, are currently too strong at all stages of the game relative to other similar skills. Yeah. And because they're too strong, why would you use anything else? By the way, didn't they nerf Lightning Conduit? Twice now? Like, here is Lightning Conduit, the new skill, and then they nerfed it before the release, and now they're nerfing it again. So, dude, imagine the numbers they had before. I don't even know. Holy Christ. Lightning Conduit? No, I didn't. Because of the whole shock aspect, I think. I mean, I'm sure there are easy ways to shock, right? Though. Also benefits super well with attack speed increase. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with Spectral Helix if they also maybe add something else afterwards. Like, I feel like it shouldn't deal so much damage because it can hit multiple times, right? That's pretty sick. But I would also, I don't know if there's a way for Spectral Helix to maybe do some sort of I don't know, like, what if there is an enchantment that allows you to half, like, cut the circle, right? Because it goes in a circle. Imagine it doesn't need to go the entire circle, it only needs to go like half and bounces halfway. For example, right? Like, that would be cool. That would be insane damage increase, right? But maybe do it super rare as the eternal thing. Reduce its duration. No, I kind of want to make it stronger. Like, I'm fine with the initial hit dealing less damage, but make it, like, mechanically a little bit interesting or different. With some other sort of, like, enchantment or thing. No, extra Spectral Helix, I'm fine if it doesn't do so much damage. Because you can have multiple of these active, and they can hit multiple times. Each hit shouldn't do so much damage, in my opinion, right? It should deal enough damage to one-shot probably a basic monster, maybe a magic one. But if it, like... even a magic one, I feel like, should usually be 2-3 hits, and rare might be 5 to 6. Maybe, I don't know. Lightning Strike is currently overpowering in comparison to other skills. It is very good at both clearing and dealing single target damage. Solution! We have changed the number of additional projectiles fired by Lightning Strike. It now requires more investment in additional projectiles for improved clear speed. Lightning Strike now fires 2 additional projectiles at all gem levels, previously 4, up to 7 at gem level 22. Hello? Stop. It's my alarm. It's 11 PM, boys. Daniel has to go to bed very soon. Okay. Yeah, Quality on Val Lightning Strike no longer provides increased damage. Quality on Divergent Lightning Strike no longer provides additional. Instead, it now provides chance to shock enemies. Okay. Labyrinth Helmet enchantments that cause Lightning Strike to fire additional projectiles now have values of 1 and 2, previously 2 and 3. Okay, so they really nerfed the clearing aspect. But was that really the difficult part? Was clearing... Like, I never had the enchant, by the way. I never had, I think, a Divergent Lightning Strike. I had Val Lightning Strike, but the problem wasn't the quality, my guys. The thing with Val Lightning Strike is it has 2 charges and you can burst the bosses down. Because it's a Val skill. Especially if you can like preload the Val, right? Like if you just go into a Searing Exile fight, probably not, right? It's fine. It's fine. I think Lightning Strike is still going to perform really well. It definitely has like worse clear speed now, but like I feel like the single target is probably still the same, maybe. Again, never care for Lightning Strike. I don't know, like it. I never had problems clearing. I mean, it's fine now, right? As to say, it now requires more investment in additional projectiles for improved clear speed. That's fine, because I never invested into clear speed, and I cleared maps. And I deal shit ton of damage to bosses. So now I just have to invest more currency into the build, or more time, to have the same clear speed, or an even better one, right? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely. Divergent Second Wind, the life regeneration on skill use provided by Divergent Second Wind support, has The fuck is that word? What the fuck is that word?
Irreconcilable. Unvereinbar.
Yo, I need context. What? With a few other stats that interact with life regeneration. We've replaced the stat in the version with generic life recovery instead of life regeneration. Okay, so I guess that's just a... Interesting. Okay, so I see this as... It had a bug that they can't easily fix, so they just had to change how it works. That's fine. I get it. Like, probably, yeah, I just had a weird bug where they're like, yo, guys, we can't really fix this, or we have to rework how life regener works. I'm not gonna do it. It's just... like, 4 programmers in the corner like... No. No, we will not. We will not do that one, Chris. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. That's good. Onslaught. Oh god. Oh no. Problem. Historically, Onslaught itself has never been a buff and cannot be scaled by modifiers to buff effect, as its only effect is you have Onslaught, which isn't very sensible. Onslaught is now a buff, and modifiers to buff effect now apply to Onslaught. This includes Flask effect modifiers when Onslaught is provided through. As such, Flask effect modifiers are not able to roll. They buffed Onslaught. What the fuck? Hello? Am I reading this? It's now a buff, and modifiers to buff effect now apply to Onslaught. So if I have Flask effect, I actually never knew this. Flask effect modifiers on a Silver Flask fucking matter. Okay. Go ham. They weren't before. Again. Withering Step. Okay, rip that one. Withering Step and Elusive. Withering Step could be used to keep up a far strong elusive effect on average, especially in combination with the Nightblade support. Oh, no. Normally you have to wait for elusive to gradually lose effectiveness and fall off before you can gain elusive again. But with Withering Step, you could replace the existing elusive buff with that of Withering Steps and then use any skill to lose elusive again. Withering Step can no longer be used while already elusive. This change shouldn't affect builds that don't have ways to gain elusive outside of Withering Step. RIP. But you can only get more Onslaught from Ascendancy and the rest is just why. Who asked for this? What, Onslaught? Oh. Interesting. I mean, I like it. It makes sense, right? That Flask effect modifiers should buff Onslaught. That's what I thought, right? That just makes sense looking at the Flask. The Flask gives me a certain buff, and if I have Flask effect modifier 30%, then I want 30% stronger Onslaught. That is what I thought, but now I know this wasn't the case. But now it's the case, so it's good. Ancestor Totem added a new totem mastery that provides Ancestor Totem buff effects linger for 3 seconds, which replaces the 50% increased totem placement range mastery. A placement range, nobody gives a fuck. If it's not placement speed, nobody cares. That's fine. Tainted Orbs of Fusings. Oh, when reintroducing tainted currency items, the chances for different outcomes were rebalanced to be appropriate for the core game. The new odds for Tainted Orbs of Fusing made it hard to justify using one on your gear, as it could become an expensive venture. Yup. We've changed the outcome odds for Tainted Orbs of Fusing to be more favorable. The match were where they were in Scourge League. Okay, so they reverted the Orbs of Fusing. So what was the average of Orbs of Fusings you needed to 6-link? To 6-link something? 6? 5? Something like this? I mean, it adds and removes one, right? It adds, and then you click again, and it might remove one, and then you click again, and it probably removes. It removes it all. But technically, I think the average was like maybe 5 or 6, I don't know, right? You click, then you rip one, rip another. Like, it's super easy, right? It's just click. It doesn't re-roll every link. Interesting. I've 6-linked, I think, 2 chests or 3 chests this link. It's ridiculous. I was so, like, I even 6-linked, by the way, I 6-linked the Chevron's wrappings recently, I think. That I bought. I think. I bought it and then instantly sold it again. Cause Vortex. Yes. I bought, like, for 5 divines, I bought a Chevron's wrappings. God, it was such a mess. I threw money out the last week or 2. Anyhow, Fracturing Orb. Thing. Cirrus Arena. Wait, what? It's hard to tell where the edge of Cirrus Arena is when environmental decorations are visually deatomized. Deatomized. Yes, that's a good word. We have changed these visuals so you can still tell where the edge of the arena is after the deatomization storm has passed over the decorations. Nice. Corrosive Hunger. Wading through ooze in the Infinite Hunger fight sub-area can be overly punishing if not using a movement skill. No, really? Could have told you that. Could have tested the game. Reduce the rate at which players gain stacks of Corrosive Hunger in the Infinite Hunger boss fight. Good. Bestiary in party play currently awards a beast to every player when capturing it, causing party play to be the best way. Additional captures of beasts when playing in a party are now rolled on a per player basis. Oh, Oh, okay. So they're like the multi-login. You have like 6 accounts logged in for Beast Play or some stuff. Okay. Fix that issue, right? Curix complete the map mission. What? Curix complete the map mission is a bit too generous in the unique maps offered, with some of the more rare unique maps being offered more frequently than they should. Curix's giftedness for the maps offered for this mission has been reduced. The chances for him to offer a more rare unique map are now more reasonable. I don't know what that is. I think that's the Atlas thing. Is giftiness a word? I think giftiness. Might be, you know, giftedness. No, it's actually giftedness. I think. They're having a little bit of fun, you know? Dude, if I have been writing this for like 8 hours straight, I kind of want to have a little bit of fun at some point at my job, right? Identified memory lines. What? It was possible to use Path of Exile trait website to determine the modifiers on unidentified Atlas memories. Atlas memories now drop Wait, Atlas memories. Oh! So the memories themselves. Okay, cool. Nice. So you don't need to identify them. Thanks. Less clicking. Please. Rook markers. Upon leaving... Wait, what? There's a problem? Upon leaving town in Act 6 and killing your first set of monsters, you would very quickly obtain rook markers and be told to go back to town and talk to Kurai. This disrupted the flow of the main questline, and you were then directed to do more and more things for the initial heist quest. We have removed the guaranteed Rooks marker drop from Act 6. Okay, so I guess it's more of a random thing to occur now. Okay. Monster balance. Boiling ambushes found in maps now cost frostbite instead of elemental weakness. So more punishing against cold, but less overall. Stuff. Keurig League mods available during... Okay, we already read this. Quest changes. Shield Crest is now affected. Whatever volcanic fish is now offered to the Marauder for completing the Siren's Cadence. Wait, the Siren's Cadence. That means you get Volcanic Fisher at level 12. Cursed Ground support, don't care. Multiple Totem support is no longer offered to the Witch for completing the... Why? Bro. People constantly ask to have more stuff available to everyone. Like, Onslaught, like, Witch doesn't get Onslaught. Like, what? Frozen Legion is now offered to the Templar for completing Breaking the Seal. Breaking the Seal, that is the quest. Is that the seal you break in Act 4? I think, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. Bataras and Vanya. That's Act 4. Pretty sure. Bataras and Vanya is Act 2? No. What? Or you mean the Siren's Cadence? Is it not the thing before the night stuff? Breaking the Seal? But Bataras and Vanya is the couple. Am I down? It's the couple in Act 4, yeah! They aren't in Act 2. That's fine, man. It's a little bit overreacting. But I was like super surprised because I looked at Act 2 and I'm like, there's never a couple. There are some people like close to each other, but no couples. And those were those couples. So I remember those. Yeah. With what? Added interface changes. Added a display that details the effect of all Eldritch Altars that have been selected in the area. Very good. Right-clicking on a Chronicle of Exile. Yeah, you can now right-click it. Updated the Atlas mission information. Text on the Atlas to clarify. Accumulated Atlas missions are based on the highest tier of maps you have completed on the Atlas. I would have to see it. Hovering over a recipe that adds a specific... Yeah, we already know this. Added slots for the newly introduced Fracturing Orbans shard to the currency stash tab. Thank you very much. The league filter on the character selection screen now only lists leagues you have a character in. What? Okay. The mini energy shield bar from the show mini life bar above you UI option will now display separately to the life bar when you have a certain amount of energy shield at different level thresholds. Okay. It is now possible to right click on a divine vessel that has captured a soul to upgrade the Pantheon power, though you can still turn them into sin if you prefer. Thank God this works now. Thanks. Improve the scroll speed in the friends and guild sections of the social panel. Yo, scroll speed! Are they removing Sin? Is he also leaving? Bro, Sin isn't technically in the story anymore. Like, the moment they said... That has been an oversight, I think, of them, or just, you know, it's like priority X to the power of 2 or whatever. It's like, who cares about that, right? Like, we don't care at that point right now. Because technically, no, aren't they together? Isn't Innocent and Sin together somewhere else? Either way, both of them left back when Conquerors of the Atlas happened 3 years ago. Technically. Okay, if you want to be more specific, no, it's technically... I mean, yes and no. Because yes, if you finished, you know, the Cirrus fight, right? The town changed. Which was, by the way, pretty cool. I love that, actually. Like, the first time I did this, I was like, yes, I am here. And if you want to ignore that part, because that's not technically the story, in Echoes of the Atlas... No, sorry, in Siege of the Atlas. They should have disappeared in Siege of the Atlas. That should have been a change back in Siege of the Atlas with Sin. Because they are literally non-existent anymore in the story. They are gone. So having to go to Sin to Act 6 or whatever is like... Bruh. It made no sense. Like, lore-wise, I was like cringing every time. I'm like, please. But I mean, it doesn't. It's a video game at the end of the day, right? Let's be honest. It doesn't really matter. Especially, I'm really excited to maybe hear some sort of like... I would love to have some story of Path of Exile 1. That would be... Oh my god, if they make that as a reward, like a little book thing... that explains the story of Path of Exile 1, right, for ExileCon people, that would be sick. Like something you can go through, you have a couple pictures, and each act is kind of like explained, kind of to the end of Path of Exile 1, right? Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna maybe reveal the big story part of Path of Exile 2, maybe, to a degree. I can see that. But they need to draw people in some form. And I think they might have to show the final boss of Path of Exile 2. Or hint at it. In some form. Because keep in mind, they want to reach numbers like Lost Ark. So you gotta really draw people in. And at that point, right, when Path of Exile 2 drops, the Path of Exile 1 story is done. Nothing is going to happen with it anymore. So technically, at that point, they could make a tiny book of it. And write down everything. Now, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. And then it just says, Sin fucks off at when Cirrus appears. He's like, nah, bruh, I'm out of here. That's what they're gonna write in it. Yes. What is that? Fix the bug introduced in 3.12 where applying temporal chains in a way not from a curse skill, such as through curse on hidden modifiers, was incorrectly applying temporal chains 50% less effect on players to all targets. What? 3.12? That has been some time, boys. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years now. Good lord. Yup. That's a lot of bug fixes. Nice. Interesting. Fix the client crash that could occur on AMD integrated GPUs when using Vulkan. Fix the client crash that could occur DirectX 12. By the way, DirectX 12 is what I use, and I think I haven't crashed in a very... No, wait. I think technically we have crashed... Holy crap. I need to focus. Crashed last stream. But usually I never crash the game again. Like, never. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. So it's extremely stable. I also use a 3090 Ti, so... might be the reason why, you know? Yeah. I mean, if someone uses like a 780 Ti or whatever, if that's a thing. Good lord. Dude, playing Path of Exile on anything older than a 980? Dude, anything older than a 1080, I think right now is probably pretty bad. Yeah. A 1080, a 1080p. Should be fine. Should be fine for Path of Exile. To a degree, of course. Anyways. Nice. Tree of Death got it again. Thanks for pet notes. Alright, well, that is that. We're done. We're through. It's time to go to bed for Daniel. He has to sleep. He has to go. I would love to actually edit the video right now, but no. I have to wake up in the morning. I'll wake up in the morning and... what is it? Step outside? I'm going insane right now. Alright. Was cool. Very, very cool. Is the live stream timer whack right now? I don't know if it looks kind of whack. Anyways. Good lord. Time to wait 8 days, boys. Time to wait 8 days to play the Forbidden Sanctum, boys. I cannot wait. I can't. Please let me play now. Please. I want to play. Okay. I'm going now. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream.